Welcome in, everybody. I'm back. I know y'all miss me. The other guy.
I'm still here.
Yeah, you're still here.
Yep. Holding it down.
We can't get a third person here. It's just not allowed.
No.
We're never gonna have that. Welcome in. Totally Not Biased, episode 12. 12. We're in 12 deep.
Yep.
Haven't uploaded the last two yet. They will be uploaded. Still working on the last few things. You should see them around the same time this episode is going to be released. So, anyways, we're going to get into NFL talk pretty much this entire episode. Going to cover pretty much what happened in Week 11, what's already happened with the Thanksgiving games, and we're also going to talk about our Week 13, predictions.
And then the playoff picture.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the playoffs because they're right around the corner, guys. We're only 6 weeks away from the season coming to a close, the regular season. And things could really change up. There's a lot of teams in the hunt. They're one game out, honestly. They could get back into the playoff hunt with this week.
Just about every division is close.
Yeah.
There's only a handful of divisions that...
Even the toughest divisions, the ones that you're like, oh, we know who the winner is of that one, like with the Bills and the Eagles. No, it's not. It's not set in stone yet.
Yeah.
But anyways, we can go ahead and hop into it. Let's see. Talking about Week 11, we're going to start with the Bears going to Atlanta. This is our Week 11 recap.
Yeah. I said this is what I wanted to happen. I said I wanted to show. I didn't want the injury to happen.
Not at all.
That's the concern here.
Yeah.
But I did want Justin Fields to show that he still has it. Our team is looking better, but we lose the close game so we can get that higher draft.
Right.
Pick.
So
this is kind of perfect scenario for us.
Atlanta at home wins 27-24 against the Bears. This is the thing about the Bears that really is kind of impressed me is that they're in every single game. Yeah. And if this guy is healthy against Philly, I actually am scared of him. Like, I'm scared of the team because they've kind of established what their offense is going to be. It's going to be going through him, whether it be like quarterback runs first, then play action off that, or him just, sitting in the pocket and doing the best he can to just get out of the pocket and make plays. Yeah. That's really what he's been about recently. I think Chase Claypool's been kind of a disaster so far, but it's only been a couple weeks. I don't think they've been able to implement him the best way with Pittsburgh, how they did it.
Yeah, 3 targets, 2 catches, 11 yards.
Yeah,
so it's not like anything.
But I also don't fault him necessarily with the way the entire offense is structured. Y'all's offensive line is horrible. Yeah. So him getting out of the pocket, making plays that way, that's what's going to end up making the difference.
Justin Fields only threw the ball 21 times and only completed 14 of those passes.
Yeah.
So it's not like Justin Fields.
He's completing, what is it? You said 14 or 21?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's 2/3 of his passes are being completed. So.
Yeah. It's not bad, but I'm just saying, we're not – the Bears are definitely not throwing the ball.
Yeah, he's limiting his negative plays, which is good. He's just trying his best to make any positive yardage. And, he's in the top 5 rushing leaders across the board. That's fucking insane for a quarterback. Yeah. We haven't seen that since,
Lamar.
early Cam.
Lamar.
Even Lamar, yeah.
Yeah. It'd be those two.
But, even this late into the season, those guys, they didn't have this many rushing yards. They top out around, 900 for the season. This guy's got 800. So
with 6 games left. A
lot of people are going to say he's a running back first. Nah. He's just very athletic. He's one of the quickest players on on his team in general. And then when it comes to, across the league as a quarterback, he measures up pretty well against Lamar Jackson.
And then I'm thinking if the Bears draft well and then keep this play call, give Justin Fields the confidence going into the season, knowing that he's able to make the plays that he's more comfortable with, I think that that will be his breakout year. That'll truly be the growth that everyone wanted to see from Justin Fields.
He's taken it up a notch from when he was at Ohio State.
Yeah.
He's kind of furthered his play from Ohio State into his second year. And this is the kind of jump you expect for a second-year player, whereas, players like Trevor Lawrence, he's still kind of getting his footing, and Davis Mills is kind of falling off the map. Yeah. Mac Jones is still looking like he's competent. Needs more support offensively, obviously, but I don't know. I feel like of those quarterbacks, Justin Fields has shown to be the best so far.
I would say so too.
But for Atlanta's side,
when does when does Mariota get benched? Because it's not like he's been playing horrible.
No.
But he's not been playing so good.
I think once they're mathematically eliminated, because I think that they've got a pretty I'm going to go look at their games that they have left. Because I don't think they're going to make the playoffs just based off of how the NFC East has gone.
I don't know. They really could.
I mean, they
might win the division.
They've got Washington today.
Mm-hmm.
They've got the Steelers next week. Then they got the Saints, the Ravens, Cardinals, and Bucks. So I think they probably lose to the Bucks. They lose to the Ravens.
But they're only a half a game behind Tampa Bay right now.
I think Tampa Bay's finally getting healthy and stuff, and they're playing a lot fucking better.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, I don't see whenever we know that they're no longer contending for the playoffs, we'll see Desmond Ridder get on the field.
Yeah.
And the thing is, in the preseason, he was pretty good from what we saw.
Like, you drafted that quarterback. Obviously wanting Mariota to be the bridge quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And if Mariota was playing better, I would say wait it out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you were guaranteed to make the playoffs, I would say wait it out. But right now you're kind of like fringe, and you're pretty much going to have to win out.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know if you just say, like, Mariota's gotten us this far, we stick with it, or if you
if you're in playoff contention, if you're, like, right on the edge and you need to play every single game, win every single game, I think Mariota gives you a better chance right now. Okay. But moving forward for the franchise, if, say they slip up this week against Washington, that kind of puts the nail in the coffin there.
Yeah. And if Tampa Bay wins.
And Desmond, to me, is very similar to Marcus in a lot of respects. Like, he's very athletic. His arm's better. I think he's more accurate. But his decision-making isn't there. So, like...
Well, yeah, he's young. So,
yeah. But that's expected. Like, it's the same thing with, like, Kenny Pickett. Like, he's actually getting to play, getting the reps and stuff, and he's making the mistakes where they're necessary. And we'll talk about him later. But yeah, I don't know. I think Atlanta's... They've got a game plan. They won this week, or they won in week 11. Cordero Patterson still looks amazing. 103-yard kickoff return. Most kickoff returns by any player ever.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
that's pretty awesome.
The way it gets like mixed up is that Devin Hester had also punt returns that he returned for touchdowns. Okay. So he has the most returns for touchdowns, but Cordero has the most kickoff returns.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So I mean,
it's cool to see him flourish this late into his career too. That's what makes.
But maybe we're putting a limit on what his career could be because I mean, I don't know. Even Percy Harvin played a while. You know, like, I don't know. Returners, they don't really have the shelf life as this guy.
Yeah,
this guy's been able to, convert to running back and even do a lot of stuff out of that. So
I mean, this is his 10th year.
Yeah.
Like,
that's a pretty decent career for
as a returner, receiver, and a running back. 10 years is unbelievable already.
And he wasn't necessarily getting the snaps as a receiver,
Yeah.
And I don't think he was getting a lot of the punishment as a receiver. He has had injuries and stuff before, obviously, but I don't think he's taken a lot of the the bruising hits as he has in the last couple of years as a running back.
Yeah,
like maybe his body's fresh because of that. If he's only getting the returns. And that's been his main focus as a player for, the better part of 10 years. Maybe that's what's kept him upright and allowed him to play even longer. Yeah. So, but we can wrap up this game. We'll move on to Philadelphia going to Indianapolis, eking out a game against the Colts, 17-16. Man, I want to get your reaction first. I don't know if you.
My number one reaction, more than anything, is how much better and different this team looks with Jeff Saturday.
Yeah, for sure. It's kind of giving him a little bit more energy.
Yeah.
Frank was a good coach. I still contend that he's a better coach than Jeff Saturday at this point. But I think they were also looking for next year, let's bench Matt Ryan because if he ends up getting hurt, we're on the books for his contract next year as well. They were playing it safe, conservative, because they had thought this season's pretty much a wash.
Yeah.
But putting Matt Ryan back into the lineup and letting him play, they look a lot fucking better because he's the best quarterback on the roster.
Yeah, I just think that, honestly, it seems like Jeff Saturday's just doing his job.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, he came in and he's like, they're asking him to call plays. He goes, I don't do that.
Yeah,
like,
no.
You're like the offensive coordinator. You're going to do that, and like it feels like he's just letting people do their thing.
Letting people do their thing.
He's putting trust in the people around him, and the team, I guess, feels better about that. Which
because they didn't have
makes
much
sense.
staff turnover. It was just him.
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't know if they fired any other assistant coaches there, but
I don't believe so.
I think he's done a good job. I think defensively they fucking played so much better last 2 weeks. They've played so much better on defense.
Yeah.
Even with a lot of injuries on their defense, they've played a lot better.
You know what the other big thing is? He is running the ball with Jonathan Taylor. When it doesn't
He
work,
did just get healthy though.
yeah, but like even before that, that was kind of the issue. Like even when like that's how a lot of people feel about a lot of these run first teams is like the Browns, Tennessee, and then the Colts. When the run game's not working, just keep doing it. It will work.
It eventually starts to work.
Yeah, with this much talent, you have to just continue to run. I mean,
what happened with this game
times.
was that's how they did start out the game, right? Mm-hmm. Jonathan Taylor, he had 60-something yards in the first quarter, I believe, and then in the second half, he didn't really do anything because that was our focus, and that's the two big guys that they just signed, Linval Joseph and Ndamukong Suh. They kind of came out with a bang that in their debut for Philly they were able to make a difference. And I don't know, I just think that for me the takeaway that I have is that our offense has kind of slowed a little bit. I think part of that is that Dallas Goedert being out doesn't give us that free first down play pretty much every down because he's always open. He really is. And I think he's just so dynamic of a pass catcher, and he's way better of a blocker than Grant Calcaterra, Jack Stoll. Him being out for 4 weeks kind of sucks.
Yeah,
and we can get exploited there. My thing is that this is going to rely more heavily on Jalen Hurts for the next 4 weeks without Dallas Goedert because you don't have that safety blanket. You're going to have to make down the field throws, which he did in this game.
Yeah.
And they put the whole game on his back.
Yeah.
Like, he was the leading rusher for the team. He had 2 touchdowns. One was rushing, and that rushing touchdown, it sealed the game.
Yeah.
And that was the thing about him. I feel like that's something that goes underappreciated for a lot of gritty players across the league. They're just dogs, and that they're going to make a play when it matters. Like Justin Jefferson, Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen. Getting rushing plays for first downs or even touchdowns when it's least expected. It makes me really happy to know that that's my guy.
Yeah.
Moving forward. The thing is that the defense, they kind of played terrible for the first half, and then they locked it down in the second half. But the offense, they lagged behind. They had to have a 10-point comeback.
Yeah.
And that hasn't happened in Philly since 2010 with Deshaun Jackson.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
how long ago it's been since Philly made a 10-point plus comeback, and Patrick Mahomes is doing that every week.
Yeah.
If we can establish the culture where we know that we're safe if we're down 10 going into the fourth, like the Chiefs do, because they know they have the guy.
Yeah.
I think Patrick Mahomes is obviously far better than Jalen Hurts at this point.
He's the best player in the NFL.
Yeah, he's the best player ever at this point. It's true.
I don't know.
He's one of the best players ever.
He is one of the best players ever.
Yeah, but it gives me confidence going into this week. We're playing a way worse team. I think the Indy's far better than Green Bay at this point. I just think they're more consistent. Michael Pittman was, a star on the field, and he was, he's better than everybody on Green Bay. Mm-hmm. So as long as we keep it right and we get it right going into we're playing Green Bay at home. Mm-hmm. If we beat them, I feel like we can get it rolling. Next couple weeks, we'll have division matchups and wrap up the season with a decent record.
Only thing I want to see more from the Eagles is when things are tough, especially right now with no Dallas Goedert, rely on A.J. Brown more.
Oh, yeah.
Get him involved more. He should never be – and, Devontae is amazing. We've talked about this. He's had those games. Mm-hmm. A.J. is definitely better.
Yeah.
Get A.J. involved more than Devontae, even if
a lot of it is game planning, adjusting through the weeks or through the quarters and stuff.
They have Gilmore. Yeah. I didn't watch the game and study that. I don't know how much Gilmore was on A.J., but I would assume
quite a bit.
Yeah, I would assume that it was at least most of the game.
What Devontae was open on a lot was his his stop routes.
Yeah.
He was making a lot of comeback routes where he was just wide open because he's just so much quicker and he can stop and he can just make his cuts so much quicker than anybody.
Yeah.
That's why he was open most of the time. With A.J. Brown, he was doubled quite a bit. They did a lot of in-breaking routes, which put him into the teeth of the defense. And, Dallas Goedert gets that space opened up because he's been doing it for so long and he knows what he's doing. With A.J., he doesn't necessarily have that much space.
Yeah.
So Jalen's having to make even more, threaded throws, which he did, which is fine. Yeah. But A.J. had a fumble in this game. I was like, A.J. Brown had a fumble? Yeah. What the fuck? And that was a pretty bad turning point in the game, too, because Jonathan Taylor just fumbled as well. And then the very next play, A.J. Brown fumbles. And we were down at that point. I was like, dude, you can't do that.
Jalen had 2 fumbles. Yeah. Lost one, got one. AJ had one, lost it.
Yeah.
Kelsey had one.
Yeah. If you all watch New Heights, he got pretty pissed off because Travis was pretty much talking shit, saying that Jason was making excuses for procedural, miscommunication procedure stuff, and they had to restart the episode the next day. Mm-hmm. That's how mad Jason was about that. Yeah. But he takes it to heart. He has had that. That's the thing about him. He's so good that whenever you see something so out of place and out of character like that, it's noticeable, and it makes him seem a lot worse at his job than he actually is because he's so good all the time.
Yeah, he's probably the best at what he does.
Yeah, but I think they'll get that. We've made more mistakes recently. Mm-hmm. That's what lost us the game against Washington. Mm-hmm. A lot of miscues from the referees, which that's fine. You can't put it all on the refs. You just got to play better. When you turn the football over, you end up losing, which we turned the ball over twice. We should have lost this game. We stole this win. We didn't deserve this win, but we got it. So that's the mark of a good team, I think, whenever you play as bad as you can and you still win.
Yeah.
That's whenever you're good.
That's a good sign.
Yeah. Which we should have against Washington. It's just so fucking bad that we lost the game.
Yeah.
We should still be undefeated. But anyways, let's move on. Let's go to the Jets. They played the Patriots on the road in New England. And came down to the last play. This fucking game, dude.
Yeah.
My God. New England ends up winning 10-3.
So many things went wrong.
Yeah. At the very end.
For the Jets to lose this. And that's why I still think the Jets are so much better of a team.
They've lost both games, though.
I know. But
it sucks.
Everything pointed to Jets are better. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jets.
I think their defenses are comparable. I think the quarterbacks are comparable.
Jets legitimately did not have a quarterback this game.
Yeah.
And lost to a punt return.
Mm-hmm.
I would say they're the better team.
It bad.
Just didn't roll in their favor.
Yeah, I think that you were I don't know, optimistic that Zach Wilson could be the guy. He's not the guy.
He played really well second half of last year.
Yeah.
And Elijah Moore stepped up. He played very well the second half of last year. And that was it. That was kind of all that Zach Wilson has done.
He's not that guy.
And
when you don't take,
I would forgive this game if the press conference wasn't so bad, to not take any blame,
any accountability at all
in your team not scoring.
When's the last time they scored 20 plus? I'm gonna go look. Off of the back of Zach Wilson. Well, I'm saying let's say 30 plus. So they scored 30 against the Browns, which he didn't play. They scored 40 against the Dolphins. I'm pretty sure he did play that game. Let's go look.
If you look at his last couple of games.
Yeah, he was 14 of 21 for 210 yards and no touchdowns against the Dolphins, and they scored 40. So,
so against the Patriots, this week you had him throw 22 times, he only completes 9. The last time against the Patriots, you have him throw 41 times, and he throws 2 touchdowns, but he throws three picks. It's where do you win with this guy?
You don't.
If you limit his touches, he doesn't turn the ball over, but he does nothing with it. But if you give him a ton of opportunities, he is going to make some things happen, but he's also going to turn it over a ton.
What does he do well, though? Because he doesn't make good decisions. He doesn't make, spectacular threaded throws.
He wants to make highlight plays.
Flashy plays, is that it?
That's all he goes for.
Is that all that it matters?
to him.
Because I've seen him get out of the pocket and fuck up and fumble more than like actually make a fucking play.
Yeah, he thinks.
I don't like this guy.
He thinks he's Aaron Rodgers.
I don't think he's remotely good. I don't think that they're going to end up sticking with him, and they still have a couple of years on his contract. Like, he's still on his rookie deal. Like, he just got drafted last year, so they're stuck with this guy.
Yeah,
and they're having to start Mike White in his place because he's just not accountable to his actions.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he played like shit. Can you at least take accountability for the fact that you play like shit? You went 9 of 22 for under 100 yards.
Yeah,
that is beyond horrible. Like, that's not. I mean, he has stats comparable, which I'm sure national media has talked about this quite a bit.
Yeah,
comparable to what's his name, Jamarcus Russell.
Mm-hmm.
Even worse in most instances. Like, he's ranking 35th out of every qualified fucking quarterback that's played this year.
Yeah,
that's worse than the starters. That's below the starting average.
What do you think is the next step for the Jets? Because we see that they don't have this early draft pick because they're a good team. Mm-hmm. Everything else except for quarterback has played great, to the fact of they're not going to be able to draft that early quarterback. They're not going to be able to get Bryce Young, Will Levis, C.J. Stroud. That's not going to happen more than likely.
Unless they offload a lot of their assets, which
you don't want to do that with this team.
That.
You want to get a quarterback.
I've heard Jimmy G.
Jimmy G
could be a possibility. I don't think that would fix their issues.
I heard someone say Gardner Minshew, and I love that. Why not give him the opportunity here?
He has a lot more swag.
He's never really played, like, he has played horrible, but he plays overall decent to well.
His career numbers are far better than Zach's.
Yeah, so like, why
as a starter for sure.
Yeah, why not give him the chance? Especially because he should be a very cheap option.
Yeah, I mean,
and he could be a bridge quarterback for someone.
Yeah, it would take low compensation too. I think it would take like a 6-rounder.
I love that pick. Like, I love that pickup, because then even if you wanted to, you could go late.
You'd be a New York fan at that point.
Oh well, yeah,
because of Gardner Minshew.
Yeah, I mean that's also why. But I think also you could draft a quarterback late and get one of the quarterbacks we've talked about, like Richardson.
Yeah, Richardson. Even Spencer Rattler.
Spencer
Rattler
was the other one. Yeah,
I feel like he'd be way better. He is more like, he's just as immature as Zach, I think. Yeah, but he's been playing well.
But that's also why I think you should do both. You should go get a cheap bridge quarterback. Honestly, maybe even like a Mariota or something like that. Yeah. Because I don't think that they signed him to a multiple-year deal. They might have signed him to a 2, but someone in that nature, and have
like a bridge quarterback into another rookie deal situation. Yeah. I don't think they're going to be bad enough, even in the next couple of years.
I don't either.
Because the thing is, the only thing they really need, from my point of view, on their team at all, aside from the quarterback, pass rushers. Well, I think get a stable of pass rushers, because Quentin Williams has looked phenomenal this year. Yeah, they've been doing a lot of stunts with their linebackers and stuff, even like corner blitzes and shit, like safety blitzes. They've been doing a lot of stuff from that standpoint. But when it comes to their pass rush, I feel like they could be way better. Yeah, they need to get more sacks. Another thing, whenever Breece Hall gets back, they've got their running back.
Yeah,
they've even got James Robinson.
Yeah, so you can sign James Robinson to another deal.
And there's going to be so many free agent running backs on the market this year too. So
and I mean, it's not like they don't have Michael Carter. Like, he's not bad by any means. Yeah. Their team is good, and it's super young.
Yeah. And we didn't even touch on New England too much, but
I mean,
we know what they are. They play phenomenal defense, and then they just have to have Mac Jones step up and make the plays where he can. Had 246 yards in that game, and even Damian Harris and Ramondre Stevenson, they stepped up too. So I don't think it's necessarily on Mac Jones. I've said this from the beginning of the year. Like, if you don't have a play caller that is competent, or like if you don't have the receivers around you that are going to make phenomenal plays for your quarterback that isn't always accurate, you're not going to see a whole lot of points. Mm-hmm. Same shit with Green Bay right now. They're not seeing the shit they're not seeing the production from their receivers either. So, I don't know. I think New England's in a good spot. They could probably make the playoffs at this point.
It's looking good for them. Yeah. But then again, everyone in that division can make the playoffs.
True. They are the deepest AFC playoff deepest AFC division right now.
For sure.
Moving on, we get the Rams going to New Orleans, and the only reason I want to touch on this shit is that this is the biggest collapse for a defending Super Bowl champion ever. I don't think the Rams win another game. I think they've played so fucking bad. They don't have their quarterback. They're dealing with a lot of injuries. Cooper Kupp's out.
Yeah.
Allen Robinson is not a number one from what we see, unless they're just not scheming him right.
No, definitely a big disappointment.
They are the most disappointing team in the NFL.
Mm. Yeah.
Even
easily.
more so than like Vegas or the Broncos. Like, this is the defending champion.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't expect them to step off this much. I've seen a lot of predictions of them being back in the Super Bowl based off their talent, but they don't have anything.
Just everything is falling apart.
And they have nothing to look forward to. Their
Yeah,
draft
all
is
in.
gone.
Yeah. So do you start moving assets? Is this going to be going into next year? If things start to go bad, is it a fire sale year?
I think it depends on the superstars there, obviously, because they're the ones that are going to be making the decisions on whether or not they want to leave.
Yeah.
Like Jalen Ramsey, do you want to leave?
Yeah, because like that's what I'm thinking. Like if you're
like this
bad,
is the most quiet year Aaron Donald's ever had,
Yeah.
and he's still fucking
Yeah, of
great.
course,
You
of
know,
course.
like he was speculated. There was speculation around him retiring if he didn't get a deal.
Well, he was going to retire last year after the Super Bowl.
I don't think this is a
He
McVay
should've.
problem either. I don't think this has anything to do with
I don't
McVay.
know who to put the blame on.
It's just a catastrophe altogether.
Yeah,
Who's their GM? Isn't it like Les Snead or something like that?
something like that.
I think so.
I don't be knowing GMs.
I think this is definitely falling upon him. You expect a collapse like this because even Philly had their collapse in 2020, where they had kind of went all in the previous 3 years and they won a Super Bowl. Even the Rams were doing that around that time. It's just that this is their fall off year.
Yeah.
They're going to plummet for a little bit. They may be able to move on from some of these older assets. Like if Aaron Donald does want to leave and not retire, they could probably move him. I don't know. There's just not a whole lot to work with there. I don't see them winning at all for the rest of the season. They're just not good.
Yeah.
And as for the Saints, like they've been up and down all year.
Yeah.
Like Andy Dalton's their starter, and
He played
he's
very
lucky.
well this game.
Yeah,
But I will never bet on a Saints team led by Andy Dalton.
me neither. I just don't see it. I don't see it, continuing.
No.
Because the Saints, they've got 4 wins. As long as they keep losing, I'm just going to keep being happy about it.
Mm-hmm.
But moving on. We got Detroit going to New York, playing the New York Giants, winning 31-18. The Giants were like 9-point favorites or something like that.
I didn't know it was that much. That's
No,
insane.
that's not it.
Yeah.
They were
Detroit is close in every game, just about.
Yeah.
Detroit is very competitive, just can't. Usually is just so bad at not pulling out the wins.
Yeah. They fucking
But-
dominated this game.
Yeah. The Giants have been close games, but have pulled out the wins.
Yeah.
This was not the case at all.
No.
The Lions came to play and
Well,
kind of bullied.
the Lions did what they had to. They shut down Saquon Barkley. Wan'Dale Robinson was the most prolific player for the Giants, it seems.
This is another game where I don't care that you were down. Do not let Daniel Jones throw the ball 44 times.
Right.
And Saquon only rushed 15 times.
Yeah.
If it is not working, keep trying. It does not matter.
Yeah, that's true. My thing is that moving forward, the Giants have such a tough road to make the playoffs because they're 7-4, right? They're one of the wild card teams still. Like they're the final No, they're the second to last wild card team because the 49ers are in too.
Jamal Williams.
They've got the Commanders next week.
Yeah.
Then they've got Philly. Then they've got the Commanders again. Then they got the Vikings, the Colts who have come on. Then they finish out their season against Philly
It's tough.
on the road
Yeah.
in Philadelphia.
And that might determine.
How many games do they win there? I think they could beat the Commanders,
As I say, I think they can sweep the Commanders. They could beat
the
Indy.
Colts.
I mean, that's 3 more wins on their. So they're
Maybe they take a game from Philly just because their
Maybe.
defense has played so well.
But I mean, that's 10.
And Philly's rushing defense hasn't been great, but they get Jordan Davis back in 2 weeks.
Yeah, they
So
end
they'll have him back.
they end the year with 10 or 11 wins.
Mm-hmm.
They'll probably make the playoffs with that.
Yeah.
So
Or they could collapse and not win another game.
or if they collapse and only have 7, they
because I think the
still
Commanders with Taylor Heineke are playing far better.
Yeah.
Their defense has been playing well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's tough.
But Jamal Williams, one of my favorite players in the league.
Yep.
Three touchdowns in this game.
Yep.
It's cool to see. I didn't expect him to step up this much.
Yeah, he's gonna be a Pro Bowler for the first time.
It's
He
amazing.
deserves it too. He's really cool.
He's always been good, but never like RB1 good.
No, not at all.
He's never been like your team's best running back. He's
Yeah.
always been that number 2 back, and and he still is. DeAndre Swift showed in the game that we'll talk about later. He is the RB1. But
For sure, yeah.
But Jamal Williams, if you don't have DeAndre Swift, he can absolutely step up and be a guy.
And they've got, what's this guy's name? I forget. Hold on a second. Justin Jackson. So they got him from the Chargers. He even stepped up in this game. He had 9 carries for 66 yards.
Yeah.
Swift being injured for a better part of this season and coming back off that injury, getting back into the flow of things, I think that's why he hasn't taken that number 1 role as much. But moving forward, I see that kind of being the shift where Jamal's just going to be the red zone bruiser, get the touchdowns type of running back, and then Swift's going to be the gadget, like all over the field type player. I do like the Lions. I wish that they could, pull out the games that are super close. This one, they were up big for a while, and there was no stopping them. But the thing is that moving forward, let's look at Detroit's schedule. They've got a pretty easy road, relative to teams that are, in the playoff hunt. They've got the Vikings. They've got the Jaguars next week because they've already played Thanksgiving. Then they've got the Vikings the following week. Then they got to go to the Jets, to the Panthers. They have the Bears at home, and then they play the Packers to finish out the season. They've already beat the Packers.
Tough.
So, realistically, I think they lose to the Vikings.
Yeah.
They probably lose to the Jets.
Yeah.
And then they could win the rest of those games. They'd end up, what would that be, 8-9.
Which is probably better than what
That
they
is
want
not
to
a
be.
terrible season for a team that was considered one of the worst teams coming in.
Yeah, but you don't want to be 8-9. That's how I always feel. You don't want to be
They don't
right
have
out
their
of the
quarterback.
playoffs.
That's been the thing that they've been, trying to figure out if Jared Goff's going to be their guy moving forward. They also
you think
have
so?
had. I think on a lesser deal, something like a Kirk Cousins, maybe even lower than that, then it's worth it. But I don't see that happening. I think he's going to want, a starting quarterback contract
Yeah,
because he hasn't played terrible. And
no, but I think they're gonna. I don't think they'll lose out, but I think they're gonna do what the Lions do.
Yep.
And when they do that, they're gonna have a super high draft pick, and they're gonna take a quarterback there. It just makes sense for them.
I mean, we'll see. I think that they can win 4 of their last 6 games.
They'll be in a
on their
weird
schedule.
position to draft a quarterback, and so they probably won't.
Yeah. Unless they were to trade up. I mean, they do have the Rams pick, so we'll see what they do with that. But
Yeah. Moving on.
yeah, let's move on. We got Washington at Houston. Wanted to touch on this game because
Washington won 23-10.
yeah, they won 23-10 on the road against Houston. Houston's the worst team in the NFL. We've known this for a minute now.
Yes.
They've only won 1 game all year,
Tied
and they're not going to win another.
1-8-1.
They play the Dolphins this week, then the Browns, then the Cowboys, then they play the Chiefs, Titans, Jaguars, Colts. They're losing all those games.
Was Dameon Pierce hurt? I didn't think he was,
Let me see.
but that's the only way that you can only run him 10 times.
Let's see. My God. I think that they just straight up shut down the run in this game because look at all those other carries that they got. They had 16 carries for 21 yards. They got down quick. They were down 20-0 going into the third.
Yeah. It's just one of those things. Again,
They have to get back into the game somehow, so they're going to give Davis Mills the opportunity to throw.
Yeah, but
that's where you get those 2 picks from. 11 QBR, terrible.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. This is a team that your quarterback's not established.
No.
When the run game is not working, just keep trying.
Yeah.
Do not let Davis Mills
Even if
run
you're down
30.
20 going into the second half,
Just
that's tough. They
Run
want to
them.
win.
yeah, but don't be dumb about it. Like run the ball, and if you can't run it, throw smart passes.
Yeah. I think they're just trying to give themselves even more of a reason to move on from Davis Mills at this point.
I
Cause
get it. I do get that, actually.
It's not going to work. I don't think them getting a quarterback is the only thing that matters at this point.
It's not the only thing that matters, but it's going to help a ton.
They need offensive line help. They need receivers. They need defensive
Because Brandon
pieces.
Cook's going to leave, if I had to guess.
For sure, yeah. And they didn't trade for anybody during the trade deadline or anything.
No, they did nothing.
I don't think there's a whole lot of free agent wide receivers either. So, I don't know. But the thing about Washington, I think we can finally put to rest the whole Carson Wentz experiment for Washington. Taylor Heineke's won how many games in a row now? 3? He's won. No, he beat the Eagles and the Texans, lost to the Vikings by 3.
He is Jimmy G. He is the second coming of Jimmy G.
Yeah, he's not overwhelming with the stats or anything, and he's not the reason they're winning, but he is winning.
Yeah.
Nonetheless.
Yeah.
So.
When the team is winning, the quarterback gets the win.
Yeah.
When the team is losing, the quarterback gets the loss.
It's really weird stuff. I do dislike this for Carson Wentz because, I mean, he was an Eagle for 7 years.
Is it that long?
6 years. No, he was there from
for some reason,
2016 to 2021. So
that's crazy.
Just over like around 5 years.
Okay, yeah, because I was gonna say it
because they're in season 7 right now. Dak's in the seventh season too.
Yeah,
because
I was gonna say it felt like 4 years at most.
No.
But okay.
Yeah, it's rough. I do hope he lands in a decent spot and can make a difference for a team. But
how do you think Heineke will grow if they say he's our guy?
I think he'd have the confidence of knowing that he can, game plan without being torn from the lineup.
Going into a season, like when the season ends,
his preparation is going to be far better too.
Yeah, start him rest of the year. Say it's our guy. Yep. Next year, say Tyler or Heineke is our guy.
Yep.
He is going to have the starting job moving forward. Let him have that whole camp going in. I wonder how much better he plays.
Yeah, I just think his preparation would be far better. And the team knows that's what they're going to stick with. They're sticking with Taylor Heineke. I mean, this dude, he played like a fucking champ against Tampa Bay in that playoff run.
He did.
He almost won that game. So,
he did everything but win that game.
Yeah.
That was the only thing missing.
This dude came from, the XFL? Played there for a minute.
So.
Yeah, he played in the XFL.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's where he came from. He was undrafted, I believe. Bounced around to 5 different teams, then ended up in the XFL, played well there, and then they picked him up from an XFL team before they disbanded. But or maybe it was the AFL. I don't know. It's one of or USFL, something like that.
Yeah. But
it's one of those spring football leagues that he came from, that he played well, made a case for himself, and a team took a chance on him.
Seems like Wentz is done.
Yeah, for sure.
The Wentz experiment's over.
I don't think that anybody's going to be paying him $30+ million to play quarterback. That's just my thing. He may end up being on a team eventually. He'll be a backup somewhere. He may even stick with Washington for the rest of his contract, unless they can cut him and get a decent, amount of cap back from that. But
maybe he's the Jets' next quarterback.
I do not hate that.
I don't hate it, but I mean, you're getting Carson Wentz.
I don't hate that though. I think he's far better than Zach fucking Wilson.
I do too, but
he's the best. He would be the best quarterback on that roster right now.
The Jets' biggest thing is if you take care of the football, they take care of you. If you just do the bare minimum, and Carson Wentz is not that guy.
Yeah, he's never been that.
No, he is going to
maybe this is rock bottom for him too. Maybe this is what it takes for him.
The Jets is rock bottom.
No. I'm saying him not starting and finally getting cut from a fucking starting role. Dude, this is what happened to Mariota. This is what happened to Winston. Even Winston's fucking done. They're starting Andy Dalton of all fucking players over Jameis Winston. That shows how bad he's been. So, I don't know. But moving on. Let's get on to
the most disappointing teams.
This is horrible. I don't even know why we picked this game. We got Las Vegas going to Denver.
I mean, we ain't got a lot to say. Russell Wilson is still washed. I heard a saying that was don't talk about people like they're not in front of you. And I would tell Russell Wilson he's washed.
I really
to his face.
Listen, man. I don't know what's going on in your head where you think that your performance bullshit is going to
yeah.
It's not going to sit well with anybody. I don't know what it's like in the locker room, but
It's horrible, man.
This motherfucker.
I really don't like them.
They cannot score more than 16 points. If they score
did
more
you
than
see-
if they score more than
18
18 points,
a
they're
game.
9-1 on the season. By the way,
Yeah, that's what I was about
they
to
have
say.
the best defense in the league in terms of points per game.
This would be their only game they've lost, right? Or maybe their second game that they would lose if they could just put up 18 points.
But they even did this in overtime.
Yeah.
Like, imagine if they
Oh.
could score more than 16 in regulation. Because,
Yeah.
you know how it ended.
Yeah.
Fucking Devontae Adams breaking that guy's ankles and being wide the fuck open. Wide open. Like,
He's great.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's the guy you leave wide open, by the way. My fucking
He's
Jesus Christ
he
almighty.
is that guy. And
You know what's crazy, too?
What?
The Raiders are not out of it. They're not out of the playoffs.
How is that a thing?
They are fucking 3-7, and they could win these games that they play. They play the Seahawks this week. They play the Chargers
but
next
they're-
week. Then they got the Rams, Patriots, Steelers, 49ers, and Chiefs. Is it probable that they win all those games? Fuck no. Could they? Yeah. I really do think they could win any of these games just based off how they played. Because the thing is, they've made a lot of mistakes. If they just limit their mistakes, they're a good football team. I just don't think that 3-7 is reflective of what they should be right now.
Oh my God.
The
The list of things that have to happen for Las Vegas to get in.
Yeah, it's real fucking
It's
bad.
massive.
It's real bad.
Wow.
But then take a look at Denver's record. My God. They play the Panthers this week. I think they lose that game.
Denver is horrible.
They lose against Denver. Then they play the Ravens, Chiefs, Cardinals, Rams,
Sam
Chiefs.
Darnold starting this week. He was named starter.
He's gonna win that game. Then they won't go get a quarterback because of that because he won that fucking game.
Because he won the job.
Yeah.
No.
My God.
It's sad.
I am okay with moving on from this.
Yeah.
I just think that
We just needed to point out that
Devontae Adams, 141 yards and a fucking overtime walk-off touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
Great news. He expected more from this team. It's just that
Yeah.
they've
Who
been playing
didn't?
so fucking bad. Everybody did. Literally everybody did.
I was high on him.
But anyways, we can move on. Let's go to Dallas at Minnesota. Ugh.
Everyone has been
This is fucking horrible to watch for my eyes.
Everyone has been talking about how Dallas is this playoff team. They are legit. They have it. I was not a believer.
Yeah.
I'm a believer.
No.
What they did to Minnesota.
Minnesota's been marked down as like fraudulent for a while now because they really haven't had that blowout win or they've lost to the one team that's actually good on their schedule.
They beat them so bad
They
they
got
benched the
washed.
starters. Like the starters got benched at the
That's
end.
bad.
Yeah. Like Kirk Cousins wasn't playing and
Micah
Cooper Rush was
Parsons,
back.
I think Micah Parsons is
I mean, he's unbelievable.
like he started out the game by getting a strip sack.
Yeah.
And then
He's unbelievable.
it just kind of snowballed from there. My fucking God, man. Tony Pollard, too.
4 solo tackles, 2 sacks, 1 tackle for a loss. And then that's not even talking about the fumble that he caused. Yeah,
and we still have the Thanksgiving games to talk about.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Dallas,
Dude.
it's kind of crazy that people thought fucking Cooper Rush could take this job.
Yeah. Oh, man. That was fucking pathetic.
Oh, man.
I think that, honestly, I am terrified of the idea or the prospect of, like, Tony Pollard coming in and having 4 receiving touchdowns against Philly on Thanksgiving or Christmas Eve. I don't know. I think of the teams in the NFC, which we are going to talk about this more,
Mm-hmm.
I think Dallas is second.
Yeah, easy.
Easy. Like,
Yeah,
there's
for sure.
no other conversation we should be having about who's, like, amongst the best teams in the NFC.
Yeah. And off of just, if you looked at, like, the last 2 weeks, Dallas has won. But that's,
Yeah, for sure.
if you're looking in a tunnel,
Yeah.
like, the Eagles have proved it all season.
Yeah.
Dallas is just stepping it up.
Yeah,
We'll see
but
how it
they've
plays
also
out,
had Dak
but-
recently.
Yeah.
They just got him back from his injury, like, how many weeks ago at this point?
Yeah, just talking about like the scare for the Eagles barely was able to beat the Colts, and
that's fine. I understand
Dallas
that. Like,
absolutely destroyed.
like even in
Minnesota.
power rankings and stuff, I could see people having Dallas over Philly at this point, just with how well we've played, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I mean we're finally getting beat up. We've been
Yeah.
healthy for the most part for the year, and then we lose Jordan Davis and fucking Dallas like back-to-back weeks. That's not good, but I don't know. I think we're gonna get back on track this week. We got a shitty ass team coming in, but
T.J. Hawkinson looks like just an amazing trade for Minnesota. It worked out so well for them. He has been used so much since they got him.
Right.
He's been able to just.
To me, he hasn't hit that.
He hasn't
met the mark of a Pro Bowler yet.
No, but
like he was his first season.
Yeah, he hasn't done anything to the point where you're like, oh, that was like a game-breaking trade.
Right.
But it does feel like a little less. Kirk Cousins is saying, fuck it, I'll just find Justin Jefferson.
You know, that works 90% of the time, though.
I know, but you can't rely on it too much.
Because we still have Thanksgiving to talk about.
Yeah,
My fucking God. The thing about this is the worst Minnesota could have played. Didn't score anything, really.
Yeah.
They couldn't get anything going. And Dallas just had the best game they've ever had, I think, in the Dak Prescott era. It's the best he's ever played, 22 of 25. He was over 50% on third downs, I believe. Had 3 touchdowns. Right? He did have 3 touchdowns, right?
I thought he just had 2.
I'm about to look. Let's see. CeeDee Lamb went off.
I just clicked off of it.
Or no, it was Pollard had 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just the 2 touchdowns. Pollard. Yeah, they brought Cooper Rush in late. Like.
Yeah, they benched.
Yeah,
they were able to bench starters. They were smacking so bad.
It's wild out here for Dallas. I think they're going to be pretty good going into the playoffs. But we can move on from there. Let's get on to.
You had something to say about this game. We have Cincinnati winning 37 to 30
at Pittsburgh.
At Pittsburgh.
Not getting enough attention. That guy wearing number 9 for the Bengals, I think he may be a top 5 quarterback. I think he also is, in the discussion for the MVP at this point. He is phenomenal, dude.
He is real good.
He did have 2 picks in this game, but the thing is that he's playing with his number 1 target out, but he's made T. Higgins become, a focal point of the offense.
Yeah.
And I think he could be a number 1 on pretty much.
And it looks like he did go out this game, but I don't know how long their number 1 running back was in this game.
Yeah, Joe was out this week.
So I know he got
out for a minute.
I know he got hurt. I'm assuming he got hurt in this game, only having 7 rushes.
Mm-hmm.
So
I just can't believe how well this dude's played. He's so fucking good.
He's amazing.
And as for Pittsburgh, I think Kenny Pickett's getting comfortable finally. Especially with how well their offense was able to run this game. They've been terrible offensively all year.
Yeah.
Najee Harris is getting it going. Had 2 touchdowns, 20 carries for 90 yards, 4.5 per carry. So,
I wish I didn't.
They just need that. They need that coming from Najee. He was that last year.
Yeah.
He can't turn into Trent Richardson or anything.
I hate the Steelers so much.
Yeah.
I love Najee Harris and George Pickens.
Yeah.
And they're both just doing so much.
George Pickens is finally getting his production,
Yes.
and he should be their number 1 receiver. He's
so
the most
good.
talented player on their offense.
He's unbelievable.
He is so fucking good. Look forward to Samaje Perine in fantasy, though. He's going to be fucking great for them. He had 3 receiving touchdowns for them. I don't know what it is about the Bengals running backs, but they've been killing it in fantasy these last couple weeks. Joe Mixon had 50. He had 5 touchdowns or some shit.
That was insane.
They are getting more production out of those guys, so I do like that about the Bengals.
Yeah.
And they're one game, they're a game and a half back from being in the lead for the division, I believe.
They seem like they learned from their mistakes and learned from the Bills, and because you see the Bills when they'll run the ball a little bit, and it just doesn't work because the Bills just cannot run the ball. Mm-hmm. So what they'll do is they'll just throw it to their running backs and let their running backs make plays. From that position, and it seems like the Bengals said, "Let's try that." And it's
getting them out on the edge, letting them make plays within in space and breaking tackles and stuff. That's what Joe Mixon's good at.
Yeah.
Especially Samaje. Samaje's been he's I don't know, he's a real small guy, quick. Mm-hmm. I like him. But that's all we need to talk about with them. I just wanted to touch on Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow he's the top 5 quarterback. He's so fucking good.
One more game.
Yep. To wrap up Week 11, we're going to talk about Kansas City at the Chargers. Patrick Mahomes. I don't know what else you can say about this guy.
He's the best.
I don't know. I'm flabbergasted by this guy. I'm jealous.
I have been critical of Austin Eckler He is always amazing in fantasy,
Mm-hmm.
but he's never really that great of a running back. He has stepped it up so much this year.
Yeah.
He is looking like one of the best running backs in the league.
Yeah. I mean,
Which
he
is
gets
great.
the production for sure.
Is Herbert
I mean,
over Joe Burrow for you?
Is Herbert over Joe Burrow? Fuck no.
Not this year, but like if you're starting your franchise, which quarterback do you
No.
take? 'Cause
No.
most people would say Herbert.
I like this. Like, he's more of a prototypical what you expect, more athletic, stronger arm, bigger frame,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But I think Joe is a gamer. Like, I feel like he does what is necessary to win.
Yeah.
Justin hasn't made the playoffs yet. He's still barely gonna, like, he may eke in at this point, but
Yeah.
nah, man, nah. And the thing is that I think Joe does have better receivers.
Yeah. Well,
he's got
I don't
Jamar.
know.
They're pretty close. That's why I was saying,
It is
like, yeah,
close.
they're really close. I think that Keenan and Mike Williams are really fucking good.
Yeah.
And even Josh Palmer, like, he stepped up in this game, had 8 receptions, 106 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah. I do think that they have better receivers. I think the Bengals have better receivers.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's by that much.
Yeah. I don't know. I do like.
They just look a lot better with Joe.
That's a great conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I still think Joe Burrow's better.
I take Joe as well.
He's made it to a
Which I thought was
Super
the
Bowl.
unpopular, which is the unpopular.
He throws for more yards. He throws for more touchdowns. He has less picks. Like, yeah, I don't know. But let's talk about this guy. My fucking god, dude.
The best
The best
to ever do it.
to ever do it.
No, but the best to do it right now. The best to ever do it.
The best to ever do it for sure is
Travis Kelce.
playing tight end
Yeah.
right now. Yeah,
I don't know though, man. I still think Gronk. It's close.
he has the most 100-yard games for a tight end ever.
Yeah,
He's had more 3 touchdown games
yeah. I think
in one season than anybody else ever. I believe
if I'm not mistaken,
he breaks records every fucking year, and he's 30.
Yeah.
Like,
Gronk has like 120 less receptions and like 30 more touchdowns.
I want to look at his stats.
That's
his career
why
stats.
it's so crazy.
Let's look at his career stats. He's about to break. he's 2 games from breaking 10,000 receiving yards.
He's unbelievable.
He has how many seasons with over 1,000 yards in a row? By the way, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years in a row of over 1,000 yards because he's going to break that this year.
All right, Gronk has 621 receptions for 92 touchdowns.
The touchdowns. That's where it's at.
It's unbelievable.
That's where
And
it's
then Travis has 773 catches
For 68.
68 touchdowns.
Dude.
That's a big.
I mean, I think he could catch up easily.
Yeah,
like, I
every
really
other
do.
stat, I 100% give it to Travis. But
He had
the-
1,400 yards in
the
2020.
touchdowns.
That's a fucking tight end getting 1,400 yards. He is a pseudo receiver at this point.
He is going to catch up with those touchdowns if the Chiefs do not sign a number 1 receiver,
I'd be
which
okay
I don't
with
think
that.
they need
They
to.
don't need to with how well. I mean,
Yeah.
he could just. Mahomes is so good; he can make anybody work.
Just add another component on defense.
I wish they would get Odell.
And if they got Odell.
If they got Odell,
that'd be awesome.
wouldn't be fair.
But like they don't need to do anything else. They just add another component on defense, spend your money on defense, and then just let the offensive players stay how they are.
I don't know, man. When you have that guy behind the center,
It doesn't matter who.
it does not matter who you have with you.
Yeah.
And we don't talk about too many quarterbacks like that. We were talking about Rodgers whenever he
was
was
supposed to be like
in
that.
his prime. I think he made Randall Cobb and Jordy Nelson far better than they would have ever been.
It kind of stays not to the same extent, but it does stay true that if you leave Green Bay to go to the Raiders, your career takes a big hit.
Yeah, it takes a big hit. But like Brady, and then Mahomes is in there. It's like the 3 of my lifetime we've talked about that are just like transcendent, make anybody better.
Yeah.
Maybe Peyton to a degree. Maybe,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I think Patrick Mahomes will be the best football player to play for the next at least decade.
He got underpaid on his contract,
He really did.
which is unbelievable.
I think he could win the Super Bowl this year easily. I think he keeps them in contention for the next however long he plays. So
Every year he will be.
I can't even put into words how much I appreciate watching this dude play.
Yeah.
He's so fucking fun to watch.
Yeah.
He makes at least 2 to 3 highlight plays every fucking game, and then one every series. We're like, oh, this got a first down, and people aren't really noticing it, but it was like the dumbest shit you've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see like Zach Wilson wanting to be that, and he's not even close. It's fucking wild. But yeah, that kind of wraps up Week 11 talk. I wish I could talk more about Patrick Mahomes, but we got other shit to talk about.
Yeah, we got the Thanksgiving games.
We got the Thanksgiving games for Week 12. We got to bring up. There's 3 of them. And they were great games. They were all close, and they were all fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
I think that to start out a Thanksgiving football celebration with Buffalo at Detroit, my thing and what I was really considering taking Detroit as the winner for this game, and they definitely were. They fought to the very fucking end.
Yeah,
and they were very close to winning this game, but if you give Josh Allen enough time, he can make plays to get this game in the hands of the Bills late.
The Bills are looking like not the Super Bowl team that we thought they were, though.
They're not dominating like they were early.
Yes.
Which is...
They still look good, and they still look like they could easily... Like, if they make it to the Super Bowl, no one's going to be surprised.
Yeah.
But they were the opposite, where if they didn't make the Super Bowl, people would be surprised.
Mm-hmm.
And, I don't know, it's kind of changed a little bit, and I feel like none of them are really playing as well. The only one, I guess, being Diggs, because, I mean...
And he wasn't even...
He
didn't really get the targets until late.
Yeah.
And it proved to me that no matter what, Stephon Diggs is the most clutch player on your team because he can make anything happen.
Yeah, and that's another reason I brought up the whole A.J. Brown stuff earlier, is just like you see it with the top 5 best quarterback in the league.
Yeah.
When shit hits the fan, get it to your best players.
Yeah.
And that's how I want a little more of Jalen, is when it's close, get it to
AJ.
Yeah.
Let him work.
That's exactly how I felt here.
Yeah.
Is he was just like, you know what? I know just the guy who's going to help.
Yeah. His passes to Isaiah McKenzie, like only like 10 players in the NFL can make those throws.
Oh, yeah.
His throw to Diggs to win the game.
Mm-hmm.
No, I think it's him and Mahomes. When it comes to like arm strength and like getting the ball there that quick whenever the defenders are closing.
Yeah.
He had 2 defenders closing and it got there just in time.
That's the other thing with Josh Allen. You can throw a soft pass every now and then.
Oh yeah, for sure.
He doesn't.
I know.
I think every time I've seen Josh Allen throw, he's trying to throw it through the player.
Yeah.
Like he is throwing a cannon every play.
Yeah. I don't know. Sometimes it's warranted, like I said, with that play. That's what's got him in trouble a lot recently too. Like where the play isn't there, the read that he makes, it's not there, but he thinks he can fit it in. That's what gets him in trouble. That's why they lost to the Jets, because he made bonehead plays where he's just throwing picks because he's trying to get it pinpoint accurate to where they can make a play late. I mean, sometimes it'll work against Detroit. Some of these worst teams that give up plays like that because they're undisciplined. But nah. I still think that if I had to guess, which we're going to talk about it, the playoff hunt, I still think that Buffalo is going to be there at the end.
Absolutely.
With how well they've played these last couple weeks. Because, I mean, they beat the Browns. We didn't even talk about that, but Josh Allen was good in that game. He wasn't terrible. Like, they were able to come away with a win against a bad team.
Josh Allen has not, at least from what I can remember, he's never really had a bad game. He's been playing...
He did against the Jets because he had multiple picks in the game.
It's just sauce is different. But
yeah,
he's like, Josh doesn't ever like super disappoint, but I guess just because of like the early season, him being compared to Mahomes, he needs to play as if he's the best player in the league every single week. Yeah. Or it's going to be a little disappointing.
Right. And right now I don't think that he can live up to that because Mahomes has played so well, But I don't know, man. I do I don't know. I think I do like the Bills' chances moving forward. Obviously,
Yeah.
The Lions they're not a good team.
They're close.
They are on the precipice of becoming like a playoff team. I want so badly for them to win the rest of their games and make the playoffs. I don't see it happening though. And Jared Goff, like he wasn't the reason they lost. It was just Buffalo was able to make plays late, and their defense couldn't hold up. So,
Moving on.
yep, we got New York at Dallas. Did you watch this game?
I got to watch bits and pieces.
It's it was close at halftime, right?
Yeah.
The Giants were at 14-13. And then coming out of the half, it just got out of hand. Like Ezekiel Elliott had his best game of the season. CeeDee Lamb had a catch that didn't count. It was so fucking ridiculous, that catch. Like it should have been called a catch. I don't know why it wasn't, but anyways, CD had one of his best games of the year. Darius Slayton mossed two guys early in the game, and it was just highlight plays back like over and over again. I felt like it was definitely like high-powered offense. Not a whole lot of great defense being played. There really wasn't anything. Dak had two horrendous fucking picks. One was kind of tipped. Like the first one that he had, it was, I don't know, it was just like a bad play, I guess. And then the second one was a deep shot in double coverage that just ended up getting picked off. And I'm like, dude, you can't play like that. And that was both in the first half. Both of them happened in the first half. And then he came out and played.
About like the tipped one?
Yeah. Both of those picks were just, I don't know what
they did not need to be.
Yeah, you shouldn't have made those plays. But Saquon Barkley had another poor game. Rushing the football, he had 11 carries, 39 yards, and a touchdown.
Yeah, Baltimore only had 11 carries.
Yeah, give him the ball.
Yeah, and this game was never out.
No.
Like, it's still only a one-possession game. Give him the ball more.
I'm pretty sure that
but it is hard to give someone the ball when you got Defensive Player of the Year lined up across from you.
Yeah. Yeah, oh my God.
Micah Parsons is just too good.
Yeah, he made the biggest impact in the second half. For me, Dallas being able to convert third downs, they were 7 of 11 on third down. They kept their drives moving.
Mm-hmm.
And they were able to run the ball pretty effectively. Zeke had wide open lanes to get first downs. And I think being able to control – that's the thing about Dallas that they've been so good at for so long. Whenever they're able to control the time of possession, continue to get first downs running the ball, and then just getting play action off that and letting Dak kind of pick apart the defense, taking what they give them, that's when they're at their best and they end up winning games like this. It may not be good all the time defensively where, like, you know, Darius Slayton's making a play that just he doesn't he's making the play over two really good corners, you know, or two defenders that he doesn't necessarily make all the time. That just happens. But
how much of the Giants elevated with a receiver, with a true number one receiver?
That's why I want. That's another team that I want Odell to get, because I don't want the Giants to be bad, you know, because we do beat them all the fucking time.
Yeah.
I want, like, you know, gnashing, you know, high quality football that we can go into the playoffs taking, you know, a lot from, and using those lessons in the playoffs to make sure that we win those playoff games. I don't want the Giants to just be a walkover. But yeah, I mean, they've had, who was it? Sterling Shepard's hurt. Fucking, I'm trying to think of all the. I mean, they traded Kadarius Toney. What's his name?
Galloway.
Kenny Galladay isn't. Did he even play?
I don't know, man. It just seems like he's done.
No, he didn't even have a reception. I don't know if he's hurt or not, but
I don't know.
It's like,
yeah, I don't know about it.
I don't know. If they end up getting Odell, because he's going to be meeting with them this week, because he said after Thanksgiving he'd be meeting with Dallas and New York. He played in New York. He can go back home, you know, like, and he'd be their number one receiver.
Easy.
But I I think he'd have a far better chance at a Super Bowl if he went to Dallas.
Yeah.
Or even Kansas City at this point.
Well, yeah.
So, I don't know. New York doesn't have a whole lot of options. I think they're going to have to continue to try to run the football first with Saquon, even with Daniel Jones getting some quarterback draws, quarterback runs written up into the game plan, and then going from there. But I don't think they're a very good team. They could lose all their games coming forward. Yeah. We've already talked about it a little bit. But moving on, we got New England at Minnesota, the final Thursday Thanksgiving game. Justin Jefferson is – there's a lot of talk about Tyreek Hill, and I understand that. He has the most yards in the NFL. But Justin Jefferson is the best receiver in the NFL right now. I don't think that's controversial at all.
Yeah, a little bit, just because of what you said.
He's the best. Like, even when he's not open, he gets open and makes plays. He's a highlight reel. Like, you just can't stop him.
He said at the beginning of this year, I'm going to show everyone that I am the best receiver in the league.
Yeah.
He has done very, very good, very well at doing that.
He's overtaken Tyreek Hill for the most yards, but Tyreek hasn't played yet.
Mm-hmm.
He's at 1,232 yards, most receiving yards through the first three seasons of his career, over Randy Moss and Odell Beckham. When you're in that company, like, what the fuck else can you... Like, what else can you say? He has 5 touchdowns on the season. That's 11th. And he's 15.2 yards per play. That's 9th amongst receivers. He has 81 receptions, which is tied for second. The only one that's better, I think, right now is Tyreek. I think. Yeah. I don't know. I'm going to have to look that up. But
yeah, get him the ball. That's why Minnesota
maybe it's Diggs. I think Diggs may actually be leading in receptions. I'm about to go look.
But
I don't know, man. I think Kirk Cousins is fucking lucky.
Yeah, absolutely. But they are the epitome of what I think every team should do, and that is whenever you're down, whenever you're in trouble, just get it to your best player.
Yep.
No one does that more than
Diggs is first in receptions. He's got 84. He's third in yards. So Diggs is right there behind him.
Yeah, it's them 3 this year.
It's Tyreek, Diggs, and Justin Jefferson. And the thing is, Justin Jefferson could be an Eagle right now. That's what makes me depressed. Like, seeing this guy be this fucking good, he could be an Eagle right now.
He could have been a Bill.
He could have been a Bill. He could have been a Cowboy. Oh, shit. There's so many teams that passed on this guy. He wasn't even the first receiver taken.
It
was fucking
trade for
Ruggs.
Yeah.
Henry Ruggs was the number 1 receiver taken.
He
had Jerry Jeudy was right after him.
In hindsight, Riggs was a good pick. Like, was a bad pick, but is what I meant to say. But in the moment, it was a good pick. I don't even think they would have really traded for Devontae Adams.
No.
If what happened.
Whenever he had his controversy last year, or was it this year? No, it was last year. Yeah, when he had his controversy, they were fucking, like, Derek Carr was killing it.
Yeah, he was
in the MVP discussion and everything.
And Henry Ruggs was part of that. He was playing amazing.
Yeah. Then it was, like, Judy right after him. Then it was Devontae Smith. Or no. No, that wasn't the same draft. Because it was, no, that wasn't the same draft. Devontae Smith wasn't in that draft. He was the one after. It was Ruggs, Judy, Jalen Reagor, and Justin Jefferson. It was those four, I believe. Because it was Jamar Chase with Devontae Smith and Jalen Waddle. That was the other guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, this dude's fucking great.
Jerry Jeudy, CeeDee Lamb.
CeeDee Lamb, that's who.
And Ruggs went before J2.
That's incredible.
And it's crazy. It's one of the most fair trades of all time. If not the most fair trade of all time. Diggs for Justin Jefferson, pretty much. Really?
Yeah, pretty much.
It's worked out so well for both teams.
Yeah, I mean they're just as good as I don't know. I still think Justin's better.
I do too, but
he's
I also
younger
think
too.
Yeah, he's younger.
Costs
less. You had a younger receiver with an older quarterback that helped each other develop.
Right.
And you had an older receiver with a younger quarterback who helped each other develop into one of the younger player both developed into top 3 bare minimum in their position.
Yeah.
It was so even. That's such a good trade.
I just
And I'm never going to give the Patriots any credit.
Well, Mac Jones did have his best game of the year, I think. 382 yards passing. He's got horrible stats on the year though.
I mean, just start Bailey Zappi.
He's got a 34 QBR, 34.5 QBR. That's 28th in the league.
He had 1 fumble.
6 touchdowns on the year. 6 touchdowns, 7 picks.
And 2 came this game.
That's so fucking bad.
He's
I don't think he's that bad. I just don't. I don't think it's his fault.
Yeah, star Bailey Zappi.
I don't think that would do anything though.
What do you mean?
They just don't have anything. And they tried to make a play late because the Vikings, they scored late, and I don't know what that last sequence was for New England, but it wasn't good. It was just bad. But anyways, that wraps up the Thanksgiving games. We're gonna move on. We've got ourselves Week 13 to talk about. Then we're gonna talk about the playoff standings and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta pee.
Okay, we can take an intermission.
Okay, we can keep it recording if you want.
Yeah, that's fine. You're the editor, so you pick.
Yeah. Okay, hopping back into it, we got our Week 13 predictions, picks and predictions. Hopefully they're lined up the same, Brendan. I don't know if they will be, but is the first game for you Washington at New York?
Sure is.
Okay.
I want to pick them.
Yeah. That's the thing. So Washington is on the road in New York, and New York is a 1-point underdog.
I'm taking Giants.
You're taking the Giants?
I'm taking the Giants to win this.
I think they kind of got exposed the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
They cannot pass the ball. Unless Darius Slayton makes some crazy fucking plays like he did. I think the Commanders are more consistent right now.
Yeah.
I'll take the Commanders.
Oh,
I'll take the Commanders to win because it is a pick 'em.
It's a pick 'em. So.
But yeah.
I'm taking the Giants here. I think that they have shown that they are the better team throughout this year.
For sure.
And even though the Commanders are playing a lot better, it changes nothing for me. I think the Giants are just better.
The formula for the Giants to win is if Saquon decides to go off.
Yep.
Like if he goes off in this game, then they should win. But the over-under being set at 42, that doesn't surprise me. I do think it's going to be low scoring relatively, but I do think the Commanders win on the road. Moving on, we got Denver on the road against the Ravens. They are 7-point underdogs. I want to take the Ravens so bad, but they've been so inconsistent offensively. They covered a 10-point spread against the Panthers.
Yeah.
And I think they're comparable. The Panthers and Denver, they're pretty close in teams, in terms of teams.
Crazy. You're not wrong, but it's crazy.
They're over-under set at 40.5.
I'd take the under.
Man. I'm gonna go the Ravens. I don't trust the Broncos at all.
I think the Ravens win this. I just don't think the Ravens have had the firepower, and I actually think Broncos are going to cover.
They're gonna keep it close.
Yeah.
Well, the defense is at least gonna keep them to 17 or whatever.
Yeah, and that's why I think the under is such a good bet here as well.
Yeah.
So I'm going under. I'm thinking close game. I'm thinking no big scores. And
Right.
Denver loses because, of course, they do, but they lose in
Of course they do.
They lose in a close game.
Okay, cool. So we got New York on the road against Minnesota.
No.
They are.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're 3.5 point underdogs to Minnesota. I actually do like Minnesota more than the Jets, and I don't think. But does Justin Jefferson get shut down
It is
against Sauce? Does Sauce actually shut down the best receiver in the NFL? That's a tough one.
A big play Slay did it. Sauce.
No, man. Oh, man.
What you got?
I think that
we've disagreed on every one of them so far. I'm liking this.
You know what? I will take the Jets. I actually think they can win
damn.
this one. I think they can win this one.
I was gonna take It's Mike White though.
Yeah, true. He's better than Zach Wilson though.
He is, but it's not against Cincinnati.
True. Damn.
So you're not getting 500 yards out of him.
Maybe the stadium will collapse in Minnesota and they have to do it in Cincy or something.
Oh, if this game is in Cincy, it's over.
It's over.
Mike White is the best quarterback in the league when he's playing Cincinnati.
I'm still taking the Jets. I think the Jets win. Then we got Green Bay on the road against Chicago. Green Bay is favored by 2.5, road favorites. You know what?
This comes down to if Justin's
playing.
If Justin is not playing, run the like it should be a higher spread.
You think Green Bay should be favored by even more?
If
Justin Fields
is not playing.
I can agree with that to an extent.
Yeah. But if Justin Fields is playing, I'm taking the Bears. So I'm going to take the Bears. I think he's going to be back by then.
Because there's not much outside of Justin Fields you really favor for the Bears.
Yeah. This has been a pretty good year overall for Bears
he's like a late scratch for this week.
Yeah.
So he's going to try to get back into this game. So I assume he would play.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be running less though, just because he doesn't want to get hurt again.
Yeah. If you talk to every single Bears fan that I've talked to, we didn't expect to make the playoffs.
Right.
We didn't expect to be a good team.
Yep.
We wanted to see our team develop, which we have.
Mm-hmm.
We wanted to see us beat Green Bay, which we will in this game. And then the only other thing that Bears fans want more than Chicago to be good is for Green Bay to be bad. It has been a great year for Chicago fans.
Yep.
And
just got to cap it off with 2 wins over Green Bay, and
it's perfect.
your season's perfect.
Yes.
Plus, you'll still have a top 10 pick if you end up being bad for the rest of the year.
Yeah, if we just beat Green Bay here, we can still have a good pick. Get Will Anderson.
You know what? I'm gonna back the Bears. I really do hope that Justin plays this game. If he's not playing, I will take the Packers.
Same.
And if he is playing, I'll take the Bears because they shouldn't be underdogs at home with him playing.
No.
Moving on, we got Tennessee on the road playing Philadelphia. 6.5 point
That's
underdogs.
what I don't like.
I don't like that either.
6.5 is way too much for a Tennessee team that has been playing well.
Plus, this is next week.
Your biggest weakness right now
is running.
Running you all are.
They actually started playing well against Indy in that second half.
Yeah.
I think Linval Joseph and Ndamukong Suh make a difference.
Yeah, the Eagles have definitely addressed that problem.
Yeah.
And making it a point to address that problem.
Now they just need to offensively pick it up.
But it's Derrick Henry.
It is Derrick Henry.
How much can you stop Derrick Henry?
I don't think we've had trouble with him before because I think we played him. We've played him recently too.
Titans cover, Eagles win. That's how I'm feeling.
Because I don't think they can pass the ball. I don't think they can pass the ball on us.
But I
don't think so.
They just don't do that anyway.
Yeah, but Darius Slay's been banged up a little bit. Avante
like
Maddox has been
for
hurt
him.
too. True. Yeah. Yeah, I'll actually pick the Eagles to cover this because I do think that Jordan Davis should be back by then, and hopefully our offense can pick it up because I think this is a revenge game for A.J. Brown as well.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, you didn't think about that, did you?
I love revenge games.
Watch this be the biggest game of his entire career because
hope.
he beat his personal best against who was it? Fuck me. Against the Steelers. He had the most yards he's ever had as a receiver.
I hope he has 6 touchdowns.
That'd be fucking great for me. I have him in our fantasy league we're going to talk about.
Yeah. A.J. Brown, love the guy.
Yeah.
And love revenge games. So
the over-under set at 44.5 though. I don't like that. I think that both teams can score over 20 at least. So
I would go over.
I will take Philly because it is a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
It's a touchdown spread. I think we can win by at least a touchdown against them.
Yeah.
Especially at home. Moving on from there, we got Cleveland on the road against Houston.
This is the return.
The return. Bill Cosby. Let's go. Probably going to slip some fucking shit in. I don't know. I'm trying to make a joke. Fuck this game.
Houston wins.
This game. I don't think Houston wins. I actually will take the Browns because they're going to have a way better quarterback.
I'm taking Houston to obviously cover and win. I think Deshaun is going to come out bad.
Really?
I think he's going to come out playing very, very bad.
It has been a while.
I think that he will become the good player that we know him to be. I'm not doubting him in any of those aspects. I just think that
them losing to the Texans would essentially eliminate them from the playoffs. I don't think that happens with them.
You got to think about how Seattle felt about playing Denver. That's how the Texans feel about playing this guy.
Davis Mills isn't as good as Geno.
Well, no one is. Geno's the best quarterback in the league.
No one.
But
Patrick Mahomes 2.0. But yeah, I will take the Browns.
I'm taking
It's
Houston
so
here.
unfortunate to say. We got the Steelers on the road against Atlanta. The Steelers are 1.5-point underdogs. I don't know how. I don't get it.
Atlanta's been winning.
Yeah, close though. I honestly think Pittsburgh's as good
I mean,
because
yeah,
they got TJ Watt back too. Shit, man. I'll take the Steelers. I like them to win on the road.
I'll go against you. I'll take Atlanta. I like either team here.
Yeah, it's a close one for me, but I'll take the Steelers. Then we got Miami on the road in San Francisco playing the 49ers. Mike McDaniel's playing his former head coach, Kyle Shanahan. Same system offensively.
Pretty close.
We're gonna see who can coach it better, I guess. Jimmy G taking on the Dolphins.
It's this simple for me.
What is it?
In a game of two pretty solid teams,
Yep.
two good teams,
Yep.
I take the quarterback I like more.
Take the quarterback you like more, which is Tua.
I'm taking Tua. I'm taking the Dolphins
Over
to
under
win.
set at 48. I do see that. I think it could be a shootout. I think Tyreek Hill probably has like 3
And
touchdowns.
that's another thing. If it's a shootout, I will. There might not be, other than Kansas City, there's not a team I take over the Dolphins.
Yeah.
In a shootout,
Oh, man, yeah.
there's not a better
they're
team.
so good at scoring points.
But,
They're one of the quickest offenses in the league.
and if we're going to have a shootout, there's almost no quarterback I take less.
I don't know who's
than
going to be
Jimmy
covering Tyreek and Jalen Waddle. I just
be
don't.
done.
I don't know how anybody does it.
It can't be done.
It really can't. Yeah, I'll go with you. I'll take the Dolphins here
Okay, good.
because I think they win by at least 6.
This is the easiest one for me.
Kansas City on the road against the
Oh.
Bengals.
Or is this out of order now?
My shit refreshed by accident.
Yeah, you're good.
Anyways,
That's fine.
got Kansas City on the road against the Bengals. They are 3-point favorites on the road in Cincinnati. I want to go to this game. It's right up the road. I feel like it'd be fun to go to.
That would be fun to go
I
to.
feel like it's gonna cost fucking $300 a ticket though.
It should.
Two of the best quarterbacks in the league. Over under set at 51. I think it's gonna be way more. They're gonna hit the over for
If
sure.
Jamar Chase is here, it for sure hits the over.
Yeah, I think that Kansas City's defense has played better recently, but they're not great at stopping the pass.
This is
This is a game that Kansas City
this is a lot on the line. Was the Bengals playoff run a fluke game? You know, like it has
True, yeah.
that.
There's a lot of implications there.
Yeah, it has the, like, Cincinnati needs to win to prove that they can beat the Chiefs legitimate. Like, not that they didn't legitimately win, but that's how a
Yeah.
lot of people feel. Kansas City needs to win because they just need the wins. I'm taking Bengals here.
I'll take the Bengals at home too.
Oh,
I like it. But Joe Mixon may be out.
If
for
Joe
this game.
Mixon's out and Jamar's not back, it's hard not to take the Chiefs.
Yeah,
But
but I still think T. Higgins can line them up,
I do too.
and they still have Tyler Boyd and they have that guy at tight end, Hayden Hurst. He's been playing good.
He has been playing good.
Yeah, Samaje Perine, I think he's a good backup. I think
Yeah.
he can do a lot of damage. I do like the Bengals to win this game though, especially at home. The crowd's gonna be so electric. I want to go to that game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna look into that. We got the Chargers on the road playing the Vegas Raiders. They're 3-point favorites on the road in Vegas. I don't know. Vegas has played so well recently too. I think that.
I wouldn't say so
Well,
well.
no, not well, but like they've
Yeah.
won their games.
I'm taking the Chargers.
Their wins are fucking against who? Denver twice and never mind.
Yeah.
Uh,
Like I'm taking
I'll
the
take
Chargers here.
Yeah, I'll take the Chargers.
The Chargers are a better team. They're more proven.
God.
They're becoming healthy. And the Raiders are just a absolute shit show.
Yeah, they are.
I think this is the over though. I think this one starts to turn into a shootout, but I think that the Chargers take the shootout by probably like a touchdown or two at the end. But I do think this is a high scoring game. I just think the Chargers
Division matchups,
outscore
though,
the shit out of them.
they typically stay a lot closer than that.
Mm-hmm.
So I do think that this spread could end up being a push either way.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I do like the Chargers. I think they're better. Yeah. We got the Colts on the road in Dallas, coming in as 9-point underdogs. I think it's tough to put on the Colts. You can't put them as a 9-point underdog right now with how well they've played defensively, and Jonathan Taylor's back, and that is their issue in Dallas. They cannot stop the run.
And, I mean, the Colts do have a better coach.
The Colts may have a better coach. I don't know, man. I actually do like the Colts to cover. I don't think they win.
That's exactly how I was going to go with this.
Because it is in Dallas. But Dallas has...
It's also a 9
fuck, man.
9 points.
9 points is a lot. But Dallas has been dominant. They've been pretty fucking good.
If Dallas wins this game by over 9 points,
that'll say a lot.
They're the scariest team right now.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's crazy.
But they have to be able to stop Jonathan Taylor. That's one of those things. Like, that's a weakness of theirs that we've seen throughout the entire season. If they can stop Jonathan Taylor, then it's a big indictment on the Colts to me, and that's a big plus in the win column for the Cowboys. But yeah. We'll move on from there. Got the Monday night football game. There is no Thursday night game.
You forgot one.
Did I?
Yeah.
Which one?
Yeah, Seattle Rams. The game that I said is the absolute easiest game.
Where is it? It's not popping
for
up.
a pick for me.
It's not popping
Seattle is a 3.5-point favorite at the LA Rams.
3.5.
Fuck? Doubt my dog Gino like that. They're winning by 21.
Matt Stafford probably won't even be back by then.
Yeah. Yeah, Gino's winning by 21. Easy. If this
21.
If this is a 20-point, I would take Seattle.
That's fucking crazy. I'll take Seattle. I don't know how they're fucking underdog, or they're only they're 3.5-point favorites on the road in Los Angeles.
Yeah. 42.5 for the over under.
Yeah, 35 is gonna be scored by Seattle.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They're winning by 21, so they're gonna already be.
I like that. Yep, we're on the same page there. It's not popping up on mine. I don't know why. But we got Monday Night Football, December 5th. Got the Saints going on the road in Tampa Bay. They're 6.5-point underdogs. I'm taking Tampa.
Fuck.
I like Tampa to win by at least a touchdown against the Saints.
The
Saints are so fucking terrible.
It's just the Tampa Bay's also stepped it up.
Yeah, their defense has played a lot better. They beat Seattle.
A couple weeks ago, I would have said it's covered by Saints. Tampa squeezes out the win. Now I think that Tampa's going to win this by at least a touchdown. So
right.
I think it's a fair call. We agree.
Yeah,
we agree at the end there, but we had some disagreements.
For sure.
I like it when we disagree a little bit.
Yeah, but we're good. We're good football minds, I guess.
Yeah, we just sometimes it's hard to disagree when you're right.
Yeah, for sure. All right, moving on. We're gonna move on to the next segment. We got the NFL playoff outlook. There's a lot of teams fighting for their wild card positioning, even division implications being fought for the last 6 weeks. Philadelphia's only played three division games so far. They're 2-1 in those games. They still got to play the Giants twice and Dallas again. That's just that's an example of like how close it is in the division. Mm-hmm. Dallas is only 8-3, and they have to play Philly again. Like, that could be one of those games that are, pushing them into the lead for the division. But we can go division by division, kind of give our opinion of it. Let's start out with the AFC East.
You want to start off with the AFC?
Yeah, let's start with it.
So I was going to say the AFC playoff picture as of right now.
Yeah, for sure.
So number 1, you have Kansas City.
Yep.
Number 2, you have Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3, you have Tennessee. It says they'll confirm, or the reason that they're in this is they won the tiebreaker over Baltimore.
Yep.
Based on win percentage. Okay. Number 4 is Baltimore. 5 is Miami.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, all of those 3 teams we just said, all of them are the same record.
Yes.
At 7-3.
Yes.
Then you have number 6 is Cincinnati.
Buffalo still has to play Miami again too.
Yes.
So that could be, and Buffalo's 0-2 in division.
And then 7 is the Jets right now.
Yeah, so that's the playoff. That's current standings for the playoffs.
And then next in is New England.
Yep, at 6-5. Then they got the Chargers.
Yep. The Colts. And
then
a lot has to happen for these next few teams, but they still have Jacksonville, Raiders, Cleveland.
Nobody
Denver,
is mathematically eliminated.
Pittsburgh, and then
right.
And then Well, no, I think Pittsburgh and Houston are.
Like, there's...
Well, I guess Pittsburgh's not, but Houston is.
Yeah, like, there would have to be a major collapse here for any of those those teams to win or get into the playoffs. As it currently stands, Denver is 0-3 in division, and they're 2-6 in conference. So they're not going to make the playoffs. They're eliminated. Cleveland could be eliminated this year if they or this year. They could be eliminated this week with a loss to Houston. Don't see it happening. Or not Houston. Fucking who do they play this week?
I don't know who they play this week.
I don't know who they play this week. Y'all talked about it last week. But anyways, like one more loss for Cleveland, they're out. One more loss for the Raiders, they're out. Jacksonville has one more loss that they can work with.
Kind of crazy. If Cleveland and Pittsburgh loses out, I predicted their win-loss for the season perfectly.
Yeah. At what, 3-14?
Yeah.
Damn.
It's not that I'm not going to be that far off unless they just fucking both win out.
Yeah. That's crazy.
I just realized it when I saw that they both had 3 wins.
Mm-hmm. And even like the way we predicted the season going, they're going to have to like work into it at this point for most of the teams. Like Indy, I had them at like 10-7.
Mm-hmm.
They would have to win 6 games and only lose one more time.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if that's going to be.
No.
I don't think it's on the board for them.
No.
But yeah, to me, I don't think Kansas City has a lot of wiggle room to work with because, I mean, they're 3-0 in division. They still have 3 other division games to play. They haven't played the Broncos at all, and they have to play the Raiders one more time. So, I mean, that's potentially 3 wins right there. That puts them at 11-2. And then what are their other 3 games? They have the Bengals. Do they have they play the Ravens still too, right?
Yeah, maybe.
Let's see. I'm gonna go
so, breaking it down, AFC.
So they play the Seahawks, the Bengals, and the Texans out of division. I think they can win all 3 of those.
Yeah.
So to me, as it currently stands, I see Kansas City ended up being the number 1 seed.
I do too.
Buffalo's probably going to still win their division. If they end up beating Miami, they have to beat Miami this next time around.
Yeah. Kansas City right now is up 8-2 with the second place being 5-5 in their division. It looks like they won
their
the division
for sure. There's no way they lose their division.
Yeah. Next is Buffalo. Buffalo is in the toughest division. 8-3,
sure.
7-3, 6-4, 6-5.
Yep. And they've lost both their division games so far.
Yeah.
Meaning they still have 4. They have to play the Patriots both times, I think.
I think so.
They haven't played the Patriots at all. They have to play Miami once. And the Jets once.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Yeah.
They should beat the Jets.
Yep.
They should beat New England both times.
Yep.
Miami's close, but they need to.
They need to beat Miami.
They need to beat
If
Miami.
they lose to Miami, I think Miami actually wins that division. Miami's only division loss is to, I think, the Jets. Yeah, the Jets beat them 40-17. That's whenever Skylar Thompson was playing. So that's when Tua was out. So, like, they have a chance to win their division still. I think Miami has the opportunity to be the 2nd seed in the AFC.
Mm-hmm.
But then you got Tennessee. They're 7-3, and so is Baltimore. The Titans have a better in-conference win percentage, so that's why they're over Baltimore right now.
Yeah. If Buffalo or Miami, whoever wins the division, the other one will be the 5 seed.
I agree with that.
That's just how that's coming down.
I still think that at least 3 AFC East teams make the playoffs.
Yeah, because then the last spot will either go to the Jets or New England.
Yep.
And then Cincinnati's going to be Cincinnati or the Ravens. Whoever doesn't win the division will fall into the 6.
Unless Buffalo ends up losing, because let's go look at Buffalo's schedule, see who they have left. They still have to play the Bengals later in the year. So, say the Bengals beat the Browns or the Bills too. Say the Bengals and the Dolphins end up winning against the Bills. That puts the Bills at the 6 seed and the Bengals at the 5 seed.
Yeah.
Unless the Bengals then beat the Ravens, because they still have to play the Ravens again.
Mm-hmm.
That could put them in the division lead, and the Ravens at the 6 seed.
Yeah.
Or the 5 seed.
And the Bengals are bad against their division. 1-3 in the division right now.
Yeah, they lost to the Steelers.
Yeah.
Oh, they've lost to every team, I believe. Unless they've lost to the Ravens both times already. No, they lost to the Browns. They've lost to the Ravens, Browns, and
Don't win to every one of them.
the Ravens, Browns, and the Steelers right now. Because they lost week 1 against the Steelers. Lost the Browns pretty bad through the middle of the season. And then the Ravens just beat them recently. Man, that's tough. Division winners basically goes off of the record first. Overall record.
Yeah.
So whoever has the overall best record within division wins.
And then it goes off of the tiebreakers.
Yeah. The thing is that the Bengals have just been able to win more of their games out of, within the out of the conference altogether. Yeah. And that may be what the tiebreaker is. Say that they do end up beating the Ravens and they have the same record as the Ravens going into the final week and they tie in terms of record. Like they're both, let's say they're both 13-4 at the end of the season. It would go to the Ravens because they have a better conference record.
Yeah.
And they have a better division record as well.
I mean, Chargers could sneak in and beat out.
That's one that I actually
Jets.
do see a potential for because let's go look at their final 6 games. They've got the Cardinals. They've got the Raiders. They play the Dolphins as well. So the Dolphins have a tough one within conference. They still have to play the Titans, which could shake up the AFC South. They've got the Colts, Rams, and then they have the Broncos to finish out the season. So, they could probably win the rest of their games. They would end up 12-5.
Which should
definitely get them in.
Because
I don't necessarily think they're going to be 12-5. I think 11-6 is probably their ceiling right now. Because I don't think they're better than the Dolphins for sure.
Yeah. And I mean, at the end of the day, they just pretty much need to win one more game than the Jets in New England.
Yeah, which I think they could. I mean, they could potentially win more games. Well, let's go look at New England's, honestly. New England may have a tough schedule by the end of the season. They still have to play the Bills twice. They got to play the Bills twice. So that can knock them out. Yeah. They got the Bengals and the Dolphins as well.
Yeah, so that's a tough schedule.
Yeah.
Raiders and Cardinals look like they should get 2 wins.
Yeah. But that would put them at, 8-9 to finish out? That's not getting into the playoffs. No. So I think the way it's currently sitting for the AFC, the AFC playoff outlook is you need at least 10 wins, and then you need things to happen to make it in. This is the same shit that happened last year. Between the Raiders and the Chargers, they had their final game. If they would have tied, they both would have been in.
Yeah.
But whoever won was automatically in.
Yeah.
So it's going to have some funky shit like that where tiebreakers are going to come into account for the AFC, and we're going to see a lot of crazy shit happening. It's going to come down to every single last game for.
What if the Colts get in because of their tie? It's like they're 4-6-1. That'd be so ugly. A lot of shit would have to go wrong.
They would have to win out too. They would be 10-6-1. But they would have to have more wins than a team that could end up with 11 wins.
Yeah. Which
I don't know if that's the case.
No.
So basically 2 through 10 right now for the AFC is all up in the air.
Mm-hmm.
Realistically.
More of 2 through 9. Colts seem out of it.
They do seem out of it because I think one more loss kind of eliminates them.
Yeah.
Because then they'd only have 9 wins they're capable of for the rest of the season.
So you're looking at 2 through 9.
Yeah.
Is open.
I think that the AFC East is going to come down to the wire. Maybe the South. Well, not the South. My bad. The Titans' positioning is going to come down to the end because I think they're going to win their division going away.
Mm-hmm.
It just depends on where they land because we didn't really look at their schedule too much.
No.
They've still got the Bengals, the Eagles, the Jaguars, the Chargers, Texans, Cowboys, Jaguars. Like they could end up the 4 seed because they could lose to the Bengals. I think they could lose to Philly. They could lose to the Chargers, the Cowboys. That's 4 losses. That puts them at what? 10-7.
So AFC looks pretty.
I think that the way it ends up, personally, is Kansas City 1.
Mm-hmm.
I would see the AFC North team being 2, or yeah, let's go AFC North 2 because it's going to be the Bengals or the Ravens with 13 wins, 13 or 12 wins, one of those, and then you got the AFC East winner, and then you got Tennessee. I think Tennessee ends up being the 4 seed.
I do too.
And then behind them, if I had to predict, I'd go Let's go.
The other AFC.
The other AFC East team.
Yep.
Then it goes Bengals, Ravens, either one.
Yep. And
then the Jets. I think the Jets just went out.
Do you think the Jets are going to beat Chargers out for this spot?
I think they beat them out.
Okay.
But the Chargers, they could end up 11-6 too, and then they end up beating the Jets out of that spot. I don't think it's going to happen just because the Jets have an easier schedule.
Jets are going to be the 7 seed.
Yeah.
Bills are going to be the 2 seed, and Jets are going to win again.
But think about those teams that are still in the playoff hunt for the AFC. That's a fucking tough road no matter who you're playing. Because the Jets are tough every week.
Yeah.
The Chargers are tough every week. The Patriots have one of the best defenses in the league.
Yeah.
Like that's
Did you
gonna
say
be tough.
AFC or NFC's top heavy?
The NFC for sure.
Yeah, okay.
The AFC has the best team in the NFL.
Yeah.
But they also have a lot of teams behind them that are wishy-washy.
Yeah.
Within the playoff standings. But as for the NFC, we know who the best teams are, I think.
Yeah, there's not many.
No. Because you have 2 9-win teams right now at the top, and then it's 6 for the division winners right now.
Oh, my God.
And this has been something that's kind of switched up recently. San Francisco is now leading the division for the AFC or the NFC West.
They're not going to win this division.
I don't know about it. Let's go look at their schedule.
San Fran is not going to win this.
They still have the Saints. They're going to win that game. They play them this week. Then they got the Dolphins, Buccaneers, Seahawks, Commanders, Raiders, Cardinals.
Okay, that sounds great.
I think they win against the Raiders, Cardinals, Commanders, and the Saints.
So that's 4. Okay, tell me how many here. Seattle against the Raiders.
Okay.
The Rams.
Okay.
The Panthers.
Okay.
San Fran.
Oh, man.
Kansas City. Jets. Rams. If they beat San Fran.
They lose. I think they win every game but Kansas City and maybe San Francisco.
And maybe Jets.
Maybe the Jets.
Yeah.
I think Seattle's better than the Jets right now.
I do too. So we'll go over it like we did the same.
That.
NFC, it is right now, number 1 is Philly at 9-1. Then you have Minnesota at 9-2.
Yep.
San Fran
at
with
6-4.
Tampa Bay 5-5. Dallas 8-3. The Giants at 7-4. And then Seattle at 6-4.
And that fills out the
playoffs.
Current playoff standing right now.
And then in the hunt, you have Washington at 6-5.
Yep.
Atlanta at 5-6. Detroit at 4-7. Green Bay at 4-7. And then Arizona 4-7. New Orleans 4-7. And then it's and then it's done because then you have the 3-7, 3-8, and 3-8.
Honestly, beyond the Cardinals, and I think even the Cardinals at this point, they're all eliminated from the playoffs. Green Bay, we can just go ahead and eliminate them because they'd have to win out. They're not winning out. The Lions would have to win out. They're not winning out.
Yeah.
Atlanta.
Like, do you see Green Bay winning 2 more games in this last stretch? Do you think that they'll win 2 more games at least than Seattle, the Giants,
not with the way you just said
Dallas.
Their schedule was?
Yeah.
No.
It just can't. I just don't see it either.
Or like it would have Washington. To be a monumental collapse for Dallas, or it would have to be a monumental collapse for the Giants even. Like, I think it would have to be fucking like they lose every single game for this team to even have a shot. Because they have to play the Eagles this week. They're going to lose. I think they play the Bears. That's a tough game, regardless. They have the Rams. They probably win that. They play the Dolphins. They lose to the Dolphins. Then they got the Vikings and the Lions. They could win all those games. I'm not saying they're completely out of it, but like that puts them at 10-7. Does that get them in?
The NFC West is the scariest playoff division that's not that scary. Like they're not like big teams.
I'm scared of this. I'm
San
Fran
and Seattle.
Seattle and San Francisco.
Yeah, but like they're not like great teams, but they're kind of terrifying in the playoffs.
I actually
think
San Francisco is the 3rd best team in the NFC. If I had to pick,
I think they're
just with
second
how well
best
they
in their
played.
division. I think they're second best in their division.
We can't keep doing this,
dude. Seattle's that team. What do you?
San Francisco has 2 more division games to win, and they win the division. They sweep the division,
but they won't because they're going to
lose. They
to
still have to play Seattle, and they have to play the Rams still.
They will beat the Rams, so they're going
to
to go 5-1.
Lose one division game, and so does Seattle.
Yeah.
Seattle has a better. They actually don't have a better conference schedule, or conference percentage right now. I actually think the 49ers have kind of clinched it to a degree. Because let's go.
I don't because I think Seattle, I think Seattle's just going to win more games.
Maybe.
And it really does come down to how.
But do you think San Francisco is incapable of beating the Dolphins?
Yeah.
Like, they could win all these games.
They could.
I actually think it's probable they do.
I don't think they do.
Because I think they're better than the Bucks right now. And then they also have to play the Dolphins. That's the two toughest teams on their schedule.
I mean,
but who knows? Watch them fucking lose to the Saints today.
Atlanta's,
and then they're starting to play like even worse.
The Atlanta Bucks situation is a good one because like it's one of them are going to be the 4 seed and the other's not going to make the playoffs.
I like that because I don't think any team deserves to be in the playoffs from that division right now.
No.
Tampa's finally making a case for them to be a stronger component in the playoffs, but not right now. Like, the toughest game that the Falcons have left to play is against the Ravens. They're not winning that game. They play the Bucks, too, in January, I think going into the playoffs, but they're not going to win that game either.
I honestly think... See, it's kind of crazy, but I think, honestly, it plays out how it looks. Other than, I think, Seattle and San Fran switch, and I think Giants will fall to the 7, and San Fran or Seattle, whoever doesn't win that division, will move up to the 6.
Yeah.
That's how I think it plays out. So I think it'll go.
Scenario.
I think it'll go Philly, Minnesota, Seattle, Tampa Bay, Dallas, San Fran, Giants. That's how I think the playoffs play out.
Let me tell you this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make a case for the Lions.
There we go for it. That'd be cool. Who do they bounce? The Giants? Yeah. It has to be the Giants. The Giants are going to end up being the 7.
In my opinion,
That's
Lions,
a lot of games to cover.
That are currently at 4-7 that are out of the playoff, out of the playoff right now. They have the easiest schedule to make the playoffs right now.
I mean,
the only two teams above 500 that they play are the Vikings and Jets, and they can win both those games. They played in every single game they played. They've been in every single game.
So how many games do you think they win?
Personally, playing the Vikings at home, that may be, man, it's a loud fucking stadium. I think they could win that game.
Okay.
I do like them in that game.
I don't like them in that game.
They just beat they beat the Giants. I think the Giants and Vikings are like, in terms of their overall team, are very
Giants
similar
in Detroit.
in their ability.
Giants in Detroit.
No, the Giants and the Vikings.
Oh, okay.
I think they're as fraudulent as one another. I just think that like Justin Jefferson is so much better than every single player on the Giants that he makes up for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, I think the Lions do end up.
So how many games the Lions get?
They run the table and win 6 straight.
6 straight. Okay. So that means what? They have to win 2 more? No, they have to win 3 more.
Who does?
They have to win. Yeah, they have to win 3 more games than the Giants.
Yeah, that's possible.
Okay, so you give them 6, which means you can only give the Giants 3 wins here. They play the Commanders.
Yep. I don't think they beat the Commanders.
They play the Eagles.
They don't beat the Eagles at all.
They play the Commanders.
They could win that game. Like at home, they could play.
They play at home this week.
Okay.
Then at home.
They're at the Commanders.
At home versus the Eagles. Then at the Commanders. Then at the Vikings.
I don't think they beat the Colts right now either.
Then they play
They're
at home
so
against the
similar
Colts.
to the Colts.
And then at the
Are they
Eagles.
not? Are they not the same team as the Colts?
It could happen.
The Colts have their fortunes have kind of started out bad, but they're now getting good. Whereas the Giants, their fortunes were good early, and now they're getting bad.
They're going to beat the Commanders. They're going to split with the Commanders.
They don't win 3 games on this schedule.
They might not win another one. And if
that's what I'm saying. Like,
if that's the case, they're out.
So what other team makes it in?
It would have to be Detroit.
It would either be Detroit or the Falcons.
Yeah, it'd be the Falcons.
So
that's fair.
I don't want the Falcons to win. I want Detroit. I do want Detroit. But the thing is, if either one of those NFC North teams win all their games remaining, which Green Bay plays Philly this week, that's going to be tough. They make it in.
You give Detroit 6 of them.
Yeah,
they have
6
to win
straight. They play 6 games. They win 6 games straight.
They have to win 1 more than the Falcons.
The Falcons
play
Tampa Bay, for sure. So they start out on the road at the Commanders this week.
Yes.
I think they could lose that game.
Then the
Steelers. I've already fucking picked against them in that game.
Yeah.
They could beat the Saints. They're losing to the Ravens.
Okay.
So that puts them at what? That puts them at 8-9.
You give them 2 wins.
I gave them 2 wins currently, so that's 7 and 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you got Cardinals.
Cardinals, they win that game, and then the
Bucks.
So that puts them at 9 and 8.
That's gonna be a close one here at the end.
The Lions are gonna make the playoffs over the fucking Falcons.
So all right, so that's your playoffs.
Yeah.
Play it out. So we got Minnesota would play Detroit.
Yep.
Who wins?
Oh, that'd be a third meeting.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Detroit is on a 6-game win streak.
The hottest team in the NFC. Everybody's gonna be talking about it like that.
Yeah.
Best offense in the NFL.
Yep.
DeAndre Swift just came off of a fucking 200 total yard game with 4 touchdowns.
Yep.
Jared Goff is playing like he did the Super Bowl year.
Yep.
The Lions could go to the Super Bowl.
Do you think they beat the Vikings?
Could the
here?
Lions go to the Super Bowl?
That's
off this
what
fucking
saying.
Bro. Okay.
So there you go.
If I had to pick, I'd take the Vikings in a playoff setting.
All right. And then you're going to
that's
keep
putting
San
Kirk
Fran.
Cousins in a primetime game in the playoffs.
Then you have San Fran.
San Francisco
is going to be playing Seattle. Regardless on who you think wins the division, they're going to play each other in this. They're right here. So this is
That's how
another
this shaked out last year.
This is another third.
Or not last year, but 2 years ago.
A third meeting.
San Francisco wins that game.
Damn.
They're a better team than Seattle.
And then run it back.
You got Dallas and Tampa Bay.
Dallas, Tampa Bay.
Oh, that's a fire game. I think that Dallas wins that.
I do too. I take Dallas right now.
I take Dallas in that game. So that would put Philadelphia playing against Dallas.
Would it?
Yes.
They're not the lowest seed though.
Yes, they would be.
No, Dallas is a 5. You didn't take any upsets other
That's
than
right.
Dallas. So yeah, Philly, Dallas.
In Philadelphia,
In
that's
Philly.
not happening. Man.
Okay. And then you got Vikings, San Fran,
I'd take San Francisco.
and then San Fran versus Philly. Y'all put your boys in the Super Bowl.
Fuck.
I'm taking Geno.
That's
all
a
the way.
crazy playoff run.
I just want you to know Geno's winning this whole thing.
Oh, is
The
he?
way I'm looking at these playoffs,
No,
I think
because
Geno.
I really do think Detroit can do it.
I do too.
Let's go Detroit. You got to make a playoff. You got Jared Goff. He's already been there.
And then we'll run the same thing for this one.
Let's do this
because this one's easy because we think it's gonna play out exactly how it is.
Really? Do you think so?
It's gonna barely move. I
honestly think that Miami can win their division.
Okay, so that's what we'll go with.
So you would have Miami winning.
So we're gonna go Miami.
Just flip Miami and Buffalo.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. That's fine.
So we're gonna go Miami against the Jets.
I'd take the Dolphins.
Tennessee. We actually moved this one too.
So
We moved Baltimore up.
So you had Baltimore. Yeah, that's right.
Tennessee's
We had
gonna fall to the
Baltimore.
4
Yeah. That's right.
So
it would be
Baltimore is gonna play the Bengals.
What? Why so many division matchups?
That's just how it is.
That's literally a coin toss. If it's in Baltimore, I'm taking Baltimore. I think Lamar Jackson, he's gonna have a good playoff run.
I think.
That's
Cincy has
defending
this.
AFC champion against AFC North champion this
And
year.
then it's Tennessee versus the Bills.
I take the Bills.
Okay. So that means it would be Kansas City
Kansas City
against Cincy, maybe? No, because you said you would take the Ravens.
It would be Kansas City against the Bills.
Yes.
I'd take Kansas City
Then you got Miami against
the Ravens.
Ravens.
I think Miami gets it done again.
And Miami against Kansas City
Motherfucker.
to go to the fucking Super Bowl. If Miami wins that, if this plays out how you think it does, and Miami wins this game, you predicted the Super Bowl. You literally said one of those two teams will make it.
Do I bet against Patrick Mahomes to lose a AFC championship at home against Tua in his first playoff run? I would say no. I
But
actually
I'm
do.
going to.
I would say no.
Yeah.
Under normal mind.
I'm still.
No, I think Patrick Mahomes gets it done.
I think Jamar Chase is going to come back.
Yeah.
My pick, and this is biased, my pick early into the year,
Yeah.
before we started, I picked Cincinnati to win the Super Bowl.
Oh, the whole thing?
That's what I picked.
Holy shit,
going
okay.
into the season.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take that they make at least the conference championship again.
Okay, so you would have them beating Baltimore.
Yeah, I think they win the division, and then they're gonna beat Baltimore in Cincinnati. Move on, win that next game.
I mean, the next time they play, that's the division. That's the division winner right there.
And then they'll play. I mean, as crazy as it is, they'll probably play Tennessee or a team like that, Tennessee, someone like that.
But I still trust Joe Burrow in that
Same.
team going to. God damn.
So I think they at least go there. Cincinnati plays Kansas
But
City.
would you still have Buffalo winning their division? You think so? Do you think they beat Miami this time
Yes, I do. But it's gonna be close. But I think if they don't, they still win in the playoffs.
Okay.
I'll take Buffalo in the playoffs.
Okay.
I don't know who I take in the regular season.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, and
There's still an opportunity for no AFC East teams,
It
other than the
could-
division winner to make the playoffs. By the way,
Yeah,
that's fucking insane.
And
I don't know how.
with it only being one game behind,
Yeah,
I honestly think. Well, no, it's only a half a game behind, right?
yeah, because I mean,
Yeah.
Miami is one less. They've played one less game than Buffalo right now.
So yeah. So if Cincinnati ends up jumping into that 2 seed, you could see Chargers
It'd be
make
tough.
it would be a little tough, but not that far off.
Yeah,
You could see Joe Burrow play Herbert for the true who's better overall.
Justin Herbert getting into the playoffs needs to happen this year.
Yeah, and then you see
I don't think it's going to, but it needs
you
to
see
happen.
Burrow win.
Yeah,
Then Burrow plays. I don't even fucking know who. Maybe Tennessee again if they do that, because that was the whole.
Yeah.
They sacked him 9 times. He wins that shit again.
Right.
He goes against Kansas City again.
We did talk about Tennessee a little
Wins
bit.
it.
We had them potentially being the 4 seed.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's on the board.
Tennessee.
They
could
could even
1
lose
seed.
the rest of their games and not win their division.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy that Tennessee.
Not the
could end
rest
up-
of their games, but like up to what would it be, 5 losses? Because they could lose to the who do they play? They play the Bengals, the Eagles, Jacksonville, which they've already lost. Didn't they lose to Jacksonville already? No, they didn't. No, they played Jacksonville both times still. So they have Philadelphia, or they have Cincinnati, Philadelphia, Jacksonville twice still. They still have to play the Chargers, the Texans, and the Cowboys. Goddamn, there's 5 losses on this. Imagine that. And then the Colts win out. The Colts win out, win their division. Imagine that fucking shit. Because they have a draw.
Because they have a draw. That's so wild.
That's pathetic.
You ready for last call?
Yeah, let's get it. Do you want to do yours first? College
I can.
football.
So, we're getting close. This is right at the end here. And upsets are happening every week now.
Yep.
We're about to hit the college football, not only just the playoffs, but the conference championships, where we see even more upsets.
Yeah.
And the official rankings have not came out, but I have looked at a couple predictions. This is kind of
I
where
think we know what's going to happen.
the 1 and 2
Or
is iffy.
Georgia.
But I've seen Michigan take that number 1 spot.
If I had to put my rankings into the here's what I would.
They
put.
are number 1 and number 2 regardless.
Yeah, I would have Georgia 1, then I would
would
have
too.
Michigan 2, because
Same.
Michigan beat Ohio State in crazy fashion.
Number 3.
Number 3, I would
is
have TCU still.
They have to.
Yep.
TCU is a lock at 3 because they're undefeated.
And with Ohio State's only loss being to the number 2 team in the entire nation, they still end up making it to the playoffs. They're the number 4 seed.
They are not right now.
They're not.
What I have seen is it is USC.
It's USC going in.
USC is looking like that.
Did I not say this was going to happen?
Number 5 is Alabama.
You were predicting that LSU possibly could make it.
LSU or even I thought North Carolina could make a big jump, but they lost bad. 2
Clemson
games.
lost. They lost their fucking game.
Ohio
so they're
State
out.
has fallen to 6. on
Bama
this
ended
ranking.
up beating who did they play? They played fucking Auburn. They beat the fuck out of Auburn. So my thing is that like Ohio State doesn't have to play a conference championship. They just have to finish out their season. They got one more game, right? Then you've got Michigan's going to be playing the Big Ten championship against Purdue. Is what it's looking like. They're going to win that game. So they're going to end up being Georgia's going to be number 1. They're playing the SEC championship against who the fuck is it? I don't even know who it's going to be.
No, neither.
Well, let's go look.
But But I really think that this is probably how it plays out.
Let's go bowls.
I'm
Let's go
still
bowls.
thinking that.
Or no, let's go for 14.
I'm still thinking that TCU is going to lose here, and it is going to rattle.
So LSU at Georgia.
Still,
That's the current SEC championship.
if LSU wins this game,
But the thing is that with LSU losing to who they lost to Texas A&M, right?
Mm-hmm.
Bama's going to jump up, and they're going to be playing Georgia.
so really it comes down to.
Bama's probably going to move up to the 6th seed or the 6th.
Yes.
They're going to be 6th in the
That's
standings
what I'm
behind
seeing
USC.
as well.
USC is going to be ahead of them. If Bama ends up winning the SEC title game, they make it in over
Yes.
USC, which is fucking crazy.
If-
So a 2-loss Bama team makes it in over USC with 1 loss.
Well, I think more Georgia will probably fall out of it. I think they'll hold
No,
it that.
not with 1 loss to Bama.
They did that to Ohio State with 1 loss to Michigan.
Yeah, but that's the Big Ten. This is the SEC. It's totally different.
I know, but I mean, I don't know, man.
Do you keep out a Bama team that just beat the current, like the reigning champions who were undefeated up to that point? You don't. My thing is that TCU would move up because they're not losing another game. They would be number 1.
I think TCU
Or
loses their-
Michigan would move up because they're going to beat Purdue. So Michigan would be number 1, TCU 2. Georgia would be 3. Bama would be 4 in that instance.
best playoff scenario. TCU loses. We get Alabama and USC both in the playoffs with Michigan and Georgia. There we go. Ohio State feels a little snubbed, but
Yeah. Honestly,
that's probably the best way
I
we
would
can play it
have.
out.
I would like to see Ohio State still in over Bama,
Same.
even if they win the SEC championship.
I don't think it'll happen.
I don't think it's going to happen. That would put Bama at 3 losses. They're eliminated from the playoff. Ohio State gets in.
Yeah.
USC doesn't make it because they're.
But like you're saying, if Georgia wins, TCU loses, we go USC and Ohio State.
Ohio State both make it in.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to happen though.
TCU has to lose for the
I don't
playoffs to be
think
better.
They're going to. They're not going to.
They're going to get
They
smacked
play
round
Kansas
1.
State next weekend.
They're going to get the
That's
shit
the
beat out of
toughest game
them.
they've played in a minute.
They're
Kansas
gonna get
State's
the-
ranked.
They're going to get the absolute shit beat out of them by Michigan if they play them.
I don't know. I mean, yeah. Donovan Edwards is a monster. I don't know if you watched any of the game.
That's a
This
word.
dude had dude, he had a fucking 75 yard. Ohio State had just scored, I think, and Michigan, they get the ball back, after a touchback or whatever, and the very first play, Donovan Edwards just takes it to the house, 75 yards. They then get what was it, or did they get an interception? Yeah, they picked off the ball late in the game with like under 3 minutes left, and he then runs an 81-yard touchdown to the house. 22 carries, 209 yards, 2 touchdowns. Him and Cornelius Johnson, they destroyed that game. But J.J. McCarthy made the case that he's one of the best quarterbacks in the entire nation. So
Speaking of one of the best in the entire nation, Caleb Williams is.
he's a fucking beast.
He
I
is
want to see
that
him in the
guy.
playoff, dude. He
Yes.
Oh my God.
He has changed so much.
He is the
so quick.
overwhelming consensus number 1 pick next year.
Yes. He is the Bryce Young.
He's
He's
the Trevor Lawrence of that class. He's even more regard. Bryce Young isn't overwhelming
No, but
in the way Trevor Lawrence was in their draft
yes,
class.
you're right. But this year it looked like number 1 overall pick, easy. Didn't matter how this season played out. It was Bryce Young. Number 2 was C.J. Stroud.
Yeah, but even CJ's kind of changed the narrative on that with how he's played.
Same. Yeah.
Yeah.
This next year, it is being Caleb Williams, Drake May.
Mm-hmm.
They're looked at in that 1 and 2. Drake May is the obvious 2.
He's
North Carolina.
North Carolina, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
North Carolina's been turning out quarterbacks for a while, I think.
Do they ever
Because they had
make really good ones.
They had Sam Howell.
Yeah.
Then they had Mitch Trubisky before him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And
Do
now
they ever have
Drake May?
Do they ever have great ones?
No, not really.
They usually got some they could be good.
Yeah, they could be.
But Drake May looks good. He looks like a stud.
Yeah, but Caleb Williams he's on a whole
He's-
other level.
yeah.
He's so fucking good.
I hate the fucking sophomore rule.
What do you mean?
Caleb Williams should just go to the
He should
NFL.
be able to go to the draft.
He's very
should be able
capable.
to,
He's
yeah.
not too young to go.
I think
to
he
the
could.
NFL.
He can make a lot of teams a playoff team right now, just with how much of a fucking baller he is. He's so good.
That seemed a little.
He really
Well,
could. No.
I don't know
He
about
can
that
make
part.
it. He can make a team a playoff team right now. I think like one of the worst teams in the NFL. He can make them a playoff team. Like with how much talent the Panthers have,
Okay, that's a
he can
little
make the
different.
Panthers a fucking.
The
playoff
Panthers. If you wanted to say Lions, I would have given you that one.
Team. Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
But I
actually.
was thinking like the Texans.
No, not the
He's
Texans.
not taking the damn
No.
Texans.
Maybe the Browns, but they have Deshaun. Like I think he could take the Browns to the playoffs.
Yeah.
But to get out of the playoff talk, whenever it comes down to one guy that is no longer being discussed as like a potential like franchise quarterback, Will Levis, taking down Louisville, 26-13,
Mm-hmm.
battle for Kentucky. Did Malik Cunningham get benched? I don't know what happened there.
I don't either because I didn't get to watch it.
Yeah.
I was wondering why he did not play that game.
He was 3 of 6 for 16 yards. He had a
That's-
32 QBR. He threw a pick, so I
Yeah.
figured maybe he got benched or something.
I thought he got hurt. I don't think
I
you
don't know.
bench Caleb, or I don't think you bench Malik Cunningham after 6 throws, even if he is
I don't
playing
either.
poor.
I don't know what happened. Let's see.
It
So-
didn't make any sense to me.
It's saying that the defense harassed Cardinals quarterbacks Brock Diamond and Malik Cunningham and forced a turnover from each, leading to 10 points. I don't know what they did.
Yeah, it doesn't like I was looking up.
I wish I could have watched this game, but
Same.
Will Levis had 2 touchdowns on 19 throws, 188 yards, had a 75 QBR. Chris Rodriguez, he's going to be a fucking maybe a middle of the draft pick, and he's going to be just so good as like a bruiser running back. He's not getting a whole lot of talk, but he's so fucking good. I love him. He's a senior. He's going to get drafted. I would love to see it.
How do you feel about Pro Football Network? Like profootballnetwork.com.
I think I actually have their
I just found their
mock draft. Yeah.
It's horrible.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, let's see. Let's go look at it. I hope this is the updated one.
Yeah, mine's from November 25th.
Let's see. September 27th. Yeah, let's go redo this.
Yeah, I know we were supposed to be talking about the college football. I just found this. And I only found this because I wanted to see how it was all playing out, I guess. But C.J. Stroud going to the Texans, number 1. I 100% agree. I think that is the right pick. Number 2, Carolina Panthers taking Anthony Richardson. Is Bryce... What? What happened to Bryce Young?
I don't know what happened there.
What? That's not happening. The Bears taking Jalen Carter over Will Levis seems crazy, but I'm not 100% against it.
Let's go to the consensus big board.
Seattle takes Will Anderson at 5. Bryce Young falls to Detroit at 6.
What?
Makes no sense to me. This mock draft's horrible.
Well, they're not going to... I mean, that's for the Rams pick, right?
I guess.
I'm assuming that's what that's for.
Fucking no, man. That seems crazy.
Jalen Carter's currently over... or no, he's just under Will Anderson.
Why would Atlanta take a first-round pick on a quarterback when you're not even starting your young quarterback?
Is that what it says?
Number 15, they're going to take Will Levis.
What is wrong with them?
I don't understand this draft at all.
What?
It says the Jets are going to take Bo Nix at 18. I actually love that.
Who?
Bo Nix, Oregon's quarterback.
Who's taking him?
The Jets. It's 18th pick in the first round. I actually...
He's not a first round pick.
He's not, but I love it if they can get him. Bo Nix is that guy.
He's so inconsistent, man. I don't know about that. What the fuck?
Yeah, it's not like they need to just move on with quarterback though.
Philly's currently slated for the 10th pick because New Orleans, was insistent on winning fucking football games when they shouldn't.
All right. Moving on. What's your last call?
Yeah, let's move on. We're gonna finally talk about the podcast fantasy football teams and how it's been going.
Okay, that's what you're going with.
Yeah. I'm terrible. I'm 5-6, second of the.
I'm 5-6.
You're 5-6?
I am 5-6.
What?
I've had some troubles.
I'm gonna go look at the standings. I'm assuming that Cody's and Anthony's teams are just fucking amazing.
They're not.
They're actually not.
Anthony is 7-4, and Cody is still 5-6 with us.
So it's dead even for me, Brenden, and Cody, and then Anthony's team is just
a little better.
A little bit better than both of us. Cody's team should be the best. It was the best going in.
My quarterback play is really taking a
I have the least points scored by far. I have the most points scored against me by far, by the way.
Yeah.
It's so fucking bad. I've made 20 moves, the most in the league.
I do love that.
Anthony's made the least.
We all have 100% chance of making the playoffs, and I love that.
This was a disaster. It was just fucking... I don't get it, dude. I stuck with Tom Brady for the longest, and it just didn't work out.
I forgot to switch out and put Herbert and Kyler back in.
Yeah.
So I'm still rocking Dak Prescott and Daniel Jones as my quarterbacks this week.
Oh, no.
But, I mean, I still think my team's a squad. I got CMC, Aaron Jones.
Oh, fuck, a game
Justin
is on.
Jefferson.
The game is on. It's already 1 o'clock. But, yeah, I don't know if y'all even care at this point. It's 5-6 for 3 of us, and then 7-4 for Anthony.
Yeah.
Totally not what I expected. But I guess that wraps up this week of Totally Not Biased.
Yeah.
You all should get 3 episodes all at once after
yeah.
this week. So it was good kicking it with you.
Yeah.
And
If
we'll
you
see
made it
next
this
week.
long, thanks for watching. Subscribe, share.
Like.
Yep.
We're going to be
Comment.
posting on the...
Tell us why we're idiots.
Yeah. We're going to be posting... Hopefully we can get a clip out, like some of the, the shorts for YouTube and stuff, and we'll post some of those on Instagram and stuff. We're going to get back into the social. Haven't been really touching it much, but...
It's the busiest time of the year.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Brendan's got his own podcast he hasn't done in a month because, I don't know. It's just
Christmas time.
It's been busy for work and stuff. But anyways, have a good weekend. Enjoy yourselves and come back next week and we'll kick it with you again.
Peace.
Later.